Hello everyone and welcome back. We're here for our second stream for the Flesh and Blood TCG this week. We're here with the Skeleton Crew. Steven and I have been together since the beginning of isolation. If you're watching this many years from now, it's 2020. COVID happened. We're social distancing and isolating. But all that said,
Zach and I obviously aren't social distancing. We're well in 6 feet. But, you know, it's been 15, 16 weeks now. We think if one of us has a...
Perhaps we're just giants, and this is actually like 20 feet. No, this is Flesh and Blood, the TCG from Legend Story Studios out of New Zealand. We streamed an introductory video last week, and then we did some sealed play yesterday with the first set. We're doing sealed play today with the second set. It's called Arcane Rising.
It was lovely, too.
If you were new, this is going to be a great stream for you to kind of... We're still walking through the process of turns and learning and stuff. We have not checked out the second set at all, which will be fun. But I also recommend going back and watching that first stream because we walk through the rules and we're learning and we're kind of figuring all that stuff out. But regardless, we're happy to have you here. We're super excited. Yesterday, I had an incredible time streaming Sealed.
It was so good. I was thinking about it last night.
I was too.
That's how you know. That's how you know it's good. It's got chops. I actually ended up watching some videos of like
next level
deck techs and stuff just to see what the constructed scene was like and what players were having to think through. And it was very fascinating, very, very cool. There's just a lot of interplay and decision-making that goes on in your particular matchups, how to build your 80 cards, what you're expecting to see in any kind of an event, and then how you would counter that. And not just in the cards you include, but in you play the same cards differently based on what you're facing. And
what are you
that's
using
a good sign
for resources? What are you using to actually play? And what's going to your discard pile? I also think the yesterday building decks in a sealed pool made me start to have to understand what all's really going on a card, what the value of a resource is versus the cost versus the damage it's doing. So I'm super excited. We're going to see a whole bunch of new cards, and there's 4 new classes in this set. So the first set had 4 heroes. They came in these starters that look something like this. These are great little starters.
If you want to get a scene started, also a lot of people in the chat talking about kind of getting a scene started. This is this is a problem right now, right? Like a lot of stores, like our store is closed. A lot of stores across the country are closed, across the world are closed. It's very difficult to get in groups of people to play games. This is probably one of the hobbies that is impacted the most, not necessarily by in terms of scale. Like it's not like, oh, the world is changing because tabletop gaming necessarily is compromised. But that of all of the things that we need to successfully tabletop game, being in a group of people close together is probably the most important one. So it really does compromise a lot of that. But if you have these demo decks and you have at least one other person either you can mail them to or play over Skype or whatever, just kind of get your feet wet and keep this excitement going, then that's a good way to do it. And hopefully things will start to get back in the saddle.
Normal at some point,
Unless you're in New Zealand, in which case everything's
apparently
more or less
fine. They put that fire out real quick.
Good place to have a collectible game right now.
Yeah, that actually worked out for a Legend Story. So it's worth saying too. I had some people tweeting at me yesterday asking some questions, and my take on will this game survive isolation, and particularly whether or not it's worth buying into right now. So the advice I gave them, there are these hero decks from the first set. They're pre-built, full decks. They come in a pack of 4. We have a couple left on the website. Side note, everything besides that is out of stock. We're going to get that in as soon as we can. Should be the next day or 2.
I think there's been a hunger for some kind of a game like this to come along.
It makes
honestly.
sense.
Yeah.
I feel like Destiny went away. A lot of the competitive LCGs are kind of waning.
I haven't felt anything like this since we were playing Spoils, and I think I had been missing that. Honestly,
Destiny probably hit me on that same.
Yeah, but it had the dice. It wasn't this kind of experience. That just purely
it's
card.
Different.
Yeah,
it's
totally
a
different thing for sure.
But ultimately, the thing I would recommend for people considering now, if you have someone that you're already in your social circle that you see in person, like I've been keeping a really tight social circle, and pretty much everyone in that circle besides my wife is someone that plays games. So that's fortunate for me. But if you have someone, I think it's great to pick up. I think Legend Story they're in New Zealand, so they're faring a little better there, which is where a lot of their audience was in the first place. But in terms of their survivability in general for any game right now, I think that they have a really good plan, and I'm excited. I think once this is all over, they're going to come out swinging. And there was a ton of excitement building for this game. They put out, it's a very sad story. The set we're going to be drafting today is called Arcane Rising, and the pre-release was the weekend before the U.S. basically just shut down. and the world started shutting down, right? So that's
had been
unfortunate
shutting down
timing.
before
But ultimately, if they can survive that, the next set's due out sometime next month in August. But if they can survive that, I think they'll survive anything. And one of the things I love about them as a company, is similar with PvP over at Skytear, is this is obviously beyond just like a business proposition for them. Flesh and Blood is an example. It's been being worked on for 7+ years. This is not just going to go away into the night. And they're committed to making it successful. So we're hoping to be able to help give it the best shot it can. I think it's a fantastic game made by a publisher that really genuinely deeply cares. They've done some unique stuff here, and if you're new, you'll get to see it as we do some sealed and check it out.
And the game is phenomenal, too.
Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Absolutely.
And word on the street, Zach, is that they're working on EU and UK distribution, is the rumor mill that was churning.
A lot of people in
as of
chat are
last night.
excited about that.
Yeah.
Some check-in real quick with the chat. Just read some questions and comments, then we'll dive into playing. Michael says, what's the best way to get boosters without buying a whole set? Probably your local store, even if they stock it. But like we only sell by the box, so shipping packs is really weird, and it's very easy to mess up how many you're shipping and which packs, and logistically it complicates it quite a bit.
And actually, a lot of people don't buy single packs. We ran into this early on. Like, people are very skeptical that you've opened a pack, found a legendary, and resealed it. So selling unsealed boxes is typically just not productive enough for a store to do unless you're literally in a brick and mortar store.
And it's great for that, right? Like even we saw with a game for us that's it's pretty successful locally is Pokemon, and that was surprising to me because I always just growing up I always bought by the pack.
Yeah, of course.
Because
That's
it's like I have $20, like here we go.
It was so cool.
Yeah, but
it
then
still is.
As an adult though, I'd be like, I want boxes, and it's kind of a different thing. Here's some other fun comments. Jared says, was watching Isolation Day 1 stream last night. Just started my own Forgotten Age. And Zach, your hair has grown so much. It was barely to your shoulders. Yes, it's getting long. I need some
yeah, we're gonna have to. I've decided to shave my head. I think that's gonna happen. I've done it a few times before. I feel like it's a good look.
I don't feel like it's a good look for everyone, but I feel like it definitely is a good look for you.
Everyone kept saying that. There's two comments that I get commonly. One is you actually look really good when you shave your head, and one is you actually look really good with a mustache. Which is what Jonathan tells me all the time.
You do have a good mustache face.
So are you saying that I should shave my head and go for a mustache?
I think you should do both at the same time.
You guys think, actually, I like that idea so much that it's kind of, life is kind of just absurd right now, and I feel like maybe that would add to the effect of just how insane things are. I'll just shave, and then whenever I see pictures from myself at that period of my life, I'll really bring home how I was feeling at the time. That like the absurdity has reached a level that I can't even control my physical appearance in a way that is not also a caricature of what I had anticipated my life to be. You know what I'm saying?
I only caught the last clip of that, but I agree with whatever you just said. Gary asking, what are y'all's thoughts on Crucible's pricing? It bothers me that a product containing 2/3 the material goods in a smaller set, so less dev time, less unique art assets, etc., is priced the same. So
it's a good question. I haven't looked into that at all.
I have thoughts. I think this is not uncommon to see in collectible games where you'll have basically these blocks of sets. So in my mind, set 3 is kind of the end of this first block because they're supposed to be doing 3 sets a year. And so a lot of times they'll load the first set up with a lot of cards. And then in this next set, I don't even know if there are any new classes. It's just new equipment, new cards for all the current classes. But what that really means to me is that the set's going to be a lot easier to collect. And so the value of a booster box is you still get the same number of cards. But the recognition is like...
didn't you say they were 10-card boosters, though?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought
like
it was actually
less. I don't know that this is true. We need to actually look at this.
Okay.
We'll do it. We'll get ready, and then next week we'll come in and we'll actually have some information about Crucible of War. We're just like exploring Welcome to Wraith. We're about to crack in Arcane Rising for the first time. Haven't really looked at kind of what is the next set and what does it ultimately entail, aside from like the Blitz format and the fact that they're cutting the super rares and adding more Majestics.
Gary says yes, it's 10-card boosters.
Yeah. So that is interesting, right? It's like there's technically less cards, but my understanding is that there's just less commons, and so you're getting less cards, but what you're really getting is less commons.
Yeah.
And the commons after, half a box or a full box are a lot less valuable anyway, so maybe
after like
evens
one or
out.
2 boxes, it's basically like, they're just extra deck building material, right?
Have you ever seen a collectible game change their booster pack size?
Yeah.
Have you?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't
Dragon Ball Z did
Spoils
that.
did that too, didn't it?
Spoils probably did at some point. It really just depends on, there's a lot of reasons, and that's where like, it's obvious that Legend Story is very intentional about the rarity and what they're putting in the packs, even with these seals that we're doing.
I'll ask him.
So, and the other thing that makes a lot of sense with stores being closed right now is these packs. I remember someone saying it's basically like they're not really built for sealed set 3 because you don't have like the heroes and the way it's structured, and you have 8 different classes.
That makes sense because one of them is like a token card that you may not even have.
Yeah.
Right. So that's 14.
So the recognition though is like,
okay,
if you're going to release a set that's not built for sealed, a good time to do that is when stores can't be open.
Yeah, that's true.
So like I think that's the most common thing. But like if you're looking at rarity and rares and the cards that people are after, and you buy a booster box and you're getting equivalent amounts of that stuff, but you're just not getting as much of the like common stuff you kind of need to build basic decks.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. I've paid $4 my whole life for booster packs. Dragon Ball Z, I think the first set was 10 cards. Star Wars TCG, a lot of them are 15 cards. Some are 11, some are 10.
Destiny was what, 6 cards and a die or something?
5 cards and a die.
5 cards and a die. Yeah.
But like the thing I'm typically like in Destiny, after the first box, the only thing I'm paying for is the rare, and after the third box, it's only the legendary. Yeah. So it doesn't bother me as much, but we'll definitely look into it.
Awesome, Taylor helping us out here. So the pack distribution from the flyer: 1 premium foil per pack, 1 rare or higher per pack, 1 rare per pack, and 7 commons.
So it's the same number of foils and rare and or higher.
Yeah.
But it's just literally less of the commons.
Your theory about not being focused on draft, I think, is the best one. Because even this box says literally 24 booster packs support 1 8-man draft pod or 4 sealed deck players, which kind of tells you what the intention is, right? Like, they get this box and play limited.
Taylor's saying the equipment slot is gone and 1 set of commons is gone.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right on. Whether or not you have an issue with that, I guess, is yours to decide. But is it going to still be worth your time to get a box of Crucible of War? I would say so.
I'm going to guess yes.
I'll be there. I'll be grabbing one.
Speaking of boxes, are you ready to open some packs?
Shapeshifter class, by the way. Apparently, there's a shapeshifter class. We
saw
saw
it.
it. There's a little screenshot.
In the next set,
there's a screenshot.
There's a new class.
There's a screenshot, and there's at the bottom.
Is it a screenshot?
You have the thing, and then there's like a bunch of cards underneath on the image. And it's like the mechanologist, and then the very bottom one says shapeshifter.
Interesting.
But is that a new class?
Or maybe it's a...
Oh, camera almost fell. Or is it a class that
My
can
contraption.
Look at that. That's amazing. Or is it a class that can play anything?
That's what I was saying. Maybe it's all 8 classes.
Maybe a shapeshifter chooses 2 classes and can play anything. You want me to fix that?
I'm good. I just want to make sure it's not coming down.
It's like I feel like I'm being watched by NBN right now. Skeleton crew. We're good. I can see it, I can see the shadow in the packs over there. All right, guys. Well,
all right.
I think it's time to get it. I think it's time to get it.
And I'm going to go a little slower here because I haven't played or I haven't seen any of these set 2 cards really. And we're looking, are L's still the thing we're after on the bottom?
Yeah, L's are the other one. F's.
Fabled. Is that better than an L?
Fabled is like the 1 in a bajillion packs.
F's. So F is the thing you want, not an L.
L is rare. L is legendary. It's rare.
Which one's more rare, legendary or Fabled?
Fabled. Fabled's like a legendary that you gotta go. So you gotta go through King's Quest V to find.
All right, this first couple of packs, I'm just gonna read everything. So I have Fate Foreseen Blue.
I'm just gonna look for the shiny ones.
It's 3 resources, 0 cost. Opt 1. Look at the top card of your deck. You can put that at the bottom. So Opt is a new mechanic, it seems like. Lets you look at the top card of the deck and put 1 on bottom. Opt 1.
We used to call that Predict back in the day.
That's right. Blue Cadaverous Contraband. I like the sound of that. We got pirates coming. If it hits, you can put a non-attack action from your graveyard on top of your deck. That's pretty cool. It's 4 damage attack, and if it hits, you're going to get to put a card on top from your discard.
Ooh, okay. That can be abused.
Moonwish. This art looks awesome. It's yellow Moonwish. It's a 2/2, so 2 resources, 2 cost.
That's good.
You can put a card from your hand on top of your deck. It's manipulating the deck and the discard here. Rather than pay Moonwish's cost. So any card can go on top of your deck instead of paying the cost. If it hits, you can search your deck for a card named Sunkiss, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck.
Nice. Okay.
So if the attack hits, you would shuffle the top card back in. If it doesn't, at least you stacked your deck for the next round.
We're getting fancy in this set.
Yeah.
Arcane Rising, indeed. This all just feel like kind of wizardy stuff.
I love this art. Lead the Charge Blue. 3 resources, 0 cost. The next time you play an action card with a cost 2 or greater this turn, gain an action point.
Okay, nice.
Go again.
And now, gain an action point is different from go again, which is phenomenal.
Gain an
right?
action point can be anything you want it to be.
It can, and you could gain 7 action points, but 7 instances of go again would only refresh 1 action point.
Yeah.
Is that crazy?
Yeah.
So that's actually, hold on, think about that. Good art on that too. With cost 2 or greater this turn, gain an action point. Wow.
Yeah, I love that art.
Okay.
Just for where Fire Wizards and Rangers are my thing.
Yeah?
Plunder Run Blue.
Me
it's
too.
a 3/0. Blues are going to be a lot of 3/0s here. The next time an attack action card you control hits this turn, draw a card. If Plunder Run is played from an arsenal, the next attack gains +1. Go again.
That's an excellent ninja card, is it not?
Oh my goodness, man. Every time you hit, it's an action card, though.
Yeah.
So,
it does have go again.
yeah. But basically, if you have a bunch of go again actions, this would be insane. Because you keep drawing them.
Yeah, you would.
Now, this is what's up. We have the blue Aether Spindle.
Wow, that could be insane.
AETHER Spindle. Look at this art. Come on now. 3 resources, 2 cost. Deal 2 arcane damage to target opposing hero. Now, I think
What's an arcane damage?
It's the same as normal damage. It's just there's going to be armor or things that stop magic damage, basically.
Right.
Then it's Opt X, where X is the damage dealt by this card, the Aether Spindle. So if you hit for 2, you get a look at the top 2. And put them on top or bottom in any order you want.
Very cool. Little filter.
And then we get the shiny.
I'm not a filter player, really.
Scalding Rain Yellow. Deal 3 arcane damage to a target hero.
Ooh, look at that. See,
it's
dude,
burn
you're
city.
burning.
We're
You're
gonna burn it down.
It's going to be disgusting. I hate it.
And the Fire Wizard, I got the Robe of Rapture. Action, destroy it. Look at this art. My goodness.
Ooh, that's one of the ones we put in our announcement email. I think,
love
because
it.
it just looks so good.
Destroy it to gain 3 resources. Arcane Barrier 1. If your hero would be dealt arcane damage, I can pay 1 instead if I do prevent 1 arcane damage.
That's awesome.
Permanently.
See, this is the kind of thing you just put in your sideboard, right? Somebody playing a wizard?
There it is.
Time to put my robes
I have
on.
my robe. And then we get our cards that are by class. So I'm not even gonna read these yet. I'm just gonna divide these by class.
Tom, are you saying the top is out of focus? I'll look at it. I'll be right back.
And the weapon I got was the ranger weapon. It's called Death Dealer. Once per turn action, if you have no cards in your arsenal, you can put an arrow card from your hand face up into your arsenal. If you do, draw a card, go again. That's really good. So you pay 1. If there's nothing in your arsenal, you can put an arrow card from hand face up in the arsenal, and then draw another card and replace it, basically.
It's going to get weird for everybody.
On the back of that, we also have a rune chant. It'll be weird in a fine way. When you play an attack action card or attack with a weapon, destroy it and deal 1 arcane damage to target opposing hero. Oh, it's an aura, so you can put it in your deck and it stays in play. When you attack, you can destroy it to deal a damage. That's good. It's Burn City. You feel that way?
Well, I don't want to know anything about burn, honestly. I
You're-
have bad burn memories.
You're about to feel the burn. We have Blue Zap, 0 cost, deal 1 arcade damage to a target 0. It's just, let's go. Aether Flame Yellow, deal 2 damage to target opposing hero. The next card you play this turn with an effect that deals arcane damage instead deals that much damage plus X, where X is the damage dealt by this card. Woo! Getting hot in here.
Everything you're saying just says damage.
Woo! Woo!
How annoying.
We're gonna burn it down, my friend.
I get it. He's just casting magic missile over and over.
Magic Missile.
All right, check it out. We got a Nebula Blade. Look at that. And Kano. Have you seen the actual? Did you get your token
No,
card?
but I would love to see it.
What do you have? A Rune Chant token and Death Dealer.
Death Dealer. That's the
Rune
Ranger.
Chant is like
Ranger thing.
the destroy for a damage, right?
Is Kano? This is the wizard.
That's the wizard, yeah.
Instant. You can read it. I can read it. Pay 3. Look at the top card of your deck. If it's a non-attack action card, you can banish it. If you do, you may play it this turn as though it were an instant. So you basically put it in your banish pile, and this turn you can play it as an instant. If it's a non-attack card.
Which you can make sure it is with your filter.
Yeah, like the 2 wizard cards I got in this pack were both actions.
Yep. I get it.
Bring the heat!
Now, here's something I didn't know about instants. I didn't fully appreciate. I knew it, but I didn't fully appreciate it. So yesterday when we were playing, and I said, just 1 damage short of blocking that last attack, and then the last card was a gain 3 life card, I can play an instant on your turn.
And instantly.
Instantly.
Anytime,
Anytime
anywhere.
you want to play it.
All the time,
So
everywhere.
you can always play an instant. So you could potentially play an instant card on your opponent's turn, which I wasn't appreciating.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so gain 3 life. Whoa, out of nowhere.
That's awesome.
It's instantaneous.
Blake saying, I'm guessing you get both normal and young heroes as tokens. Yes, as far as I know.
Rifting. Look at Rifting. Yellow Rifting. If it hits, you may play your next non-attack as though it were an instant. Okay.
Also, she only starts with, or he, I don't know, five less health.
5 less
15.
health. That's right. Or, yeah, 5 less health and then 10 less health in the main one.
Yeah.
Starts at 30. So there's the Sun Kiss. We were talking about that one. Red Sun Kiss. Gain 3 life. If you've played Moon Wish, draw a card and Sun Kiss gains go again.
Nice.
So a little Moon Wish, Sun Wish synergy
awesome.
going on. It's actually really cool. Lead the charge. We've seen Fate Foreseen yellow. Opt 1. Look at the top card. Reduce to Ruin Chant. Costs 1 less to play for each Ruin Chant you control.
That's the yellow one.
And it
Reduce
creates
to Ruin Chant.
yeah, it creates a Ruin Chant token. So
Okay. That's this thing.
basically, there's an entire class that revolves around Ruin Chants, right? Probably the Ruin Slayers, Ruin Blades.
Yeah.
So we got the Ruin Blades that are using Ruin Chants and doing all sorts of weird stuff. We've got the Wizard who's doing arcane damage and opting a lot, it seems like, in deck manipulation.
The Ranger's a bow and arrow and a bunch of arrow cards that are shooting.
Who would have thought?
Yep.
Now, I've heard people are dogging on the Ranger. Ranger is like the class that everybody knows is really good, but nobody's quite nailed it down yet.
It's like red in Skytear.
Yes, that's right. That's right. That's very right.
My interest has gone through the roof.
We also have Oath of the Arc Knight, another Ruin Blade rare.
Look
Your
at that
next
card.
attack this turn gains +3. It's red Oath of the Arc Knight. Create a Ruin Chant token. So everything they're doing, they're creating these tokens.
You see what those Rune Chants do?
And then when you play an attack, action card, or attack with a weapon, you must destroy this and deal 1 arcane to a target opposing hero. Wow.
Could stack up quick.
That's cool. This is a set that a lot of people needed.
You're done asking how are expenses paid. So if you look at like Throttle Red, it'll come on screen. On the top left, you'll see 3 slots. There's 1 red circle up there, but that means it produces 1 resource. So when you go to play a card, you have to produce resources, and any left over, you can still spend that turn.
And while we're here, hold on. Let's just take a second. Leave Throttle up. I'm going to zoom out for a second.
Is it still up?
Oh, wait, it was on my face. Hold on. Let me go back down. So I was going to get on my soapbox. Look at the border on this card on Throttle. You don't see that. You don't see that in normal card games.
Normal.
Look at this. This is insane
Yeah.
what they're doing here. This is a truly new level of card borders. As you know, as weird, as funny as that sounds, that is really important to me. The Ranger one too has got this like stained glass leaf kind
Yeah.
of thing going on.
See the Wizard one?
Absolutely
It's very
amazing.
cool.
Look at my next one's Blue Take Cover, which is a good example of this. What a beautiful foil too. My gosh.
Let me see. Oh, yeah.
Mm.
Get out of here.
Yeah, that's it. Then we've got Reload. So if you have no cards in your arsenal, you may put a card from your hand face down into your arsenal. I love this card. Zach, I love this card.
What's it do? Sorry.
It's a defense reaction, so it contributes 2 defense during the reaction phase, and then it resolves, and you can put a card into your arsenal.
That's what I was reading. I had, where is it at?
Oh, Jonathan, thanks. So the card's at the bottom of the screen, which means my face is safe.
Yeah, so they basically are just reloading arrows the whole time. It's crazy. Their arsenal, they use a bunch of stuff from Arsenal.
That's
It's like their pack on the back, right?
It makes total sense, right? Oh my gosh. See, I'm sorry, I'm in a soapboxy mood today, but like,
It's your box to soap on. You know what I mean?
don't let anybody soap on your box.
You soap on your box.
I'm gonna soap. So this is, to me, a very clear indicator that there is a future thinking design that has happened before any of these cards were even conceived of. It's like, we know we're going to have a class that takes advantage of the arsenal. We know we're going to have arcane damage in various ways to take advantage of that. We know we're going to have equipment that's going to negate some of that arcane damage to make sure that it stays under control. You can tell that there was a plan going into this. It wasn't like, oh, I guess the first set was successful. Let's whip another one up real quick.
Yeah.
Very controlled. I very much like it.
I absolutely agree with you.
All right, we got the Robe of Rapture.
Seen that before.
Straight up, normal. Headshot. Some
Oof, look at that
hilarious and gross art on that one.
Headshot yellow.
Arrows can only be played from Arsenal and only if you control a bow. This is just too cool, man.
They went there. Look at that. That border is killer.
If it's put into your arsenal face up, it gains +2 until end of turn. Take cover. puts a card from your hand face down into your arsenal. How do you put it face up?
I had a card that did it.
So there are different ways to do it then.
Yeah, let me find it.
This is going to be such a fun class.
Where is that?
That's going to be such a fun class. Oh my gosh. Zach, I'm going to have to fight you for it.
It'll be all right.
Locked and loaded, I believe that we've
I forgot what
seen
the card was, but there was a card that basically puts an arrow from my discard pile into my arsenal.
Face up into your arsenal?
Yeah, face
okay,
up.
cool. Sikkim Shot, yellow. Arrows can only be played from arsenal, obviously. Go again. So this is your standard attack. 1 cost, 3 damage. Go again. Very nice. 0 to 60. Jonathan going to love this art. It's blue 0 to 60 here. It has boost. Have we seen boost yet? Have you seen boost on your mechanologist cards?
Nope.
As an additional cost to play it, you have to banish the top card of your deck. If that card is a mechanologist card, this card gains go again.
Nice. Odds are it's probably going to be mechanologist if you're playing
Odds are
mechanologist.
good, but it's going to ruin you in a tournament. Ruin Flash yellow. Costs 1 less to play for each enchant you control. Does 3 damage. Standard action as well. Voltic Bolt, wizard action. Deal 4 arcane damage to target hero. The yellow Voltic Bolt there. And yellow Bloodspill Invocation. Oh, hold on. I think we got a reader here.
We got a reader.
When an attack action card you control hits, destroy this, create 2 rune chant tokens. This feels like the micromajigs, doesn't it?
Dude, I
Spoils?
forgot about the micromajigs.
Yeah,
Remember the micromajig shipping container?
Oh, I do.
We're revisiting Spoils on Thursday. If you used
That's
to play
tomorrow.
that'll be hilarious. That's crazy.
That's too much.
All right, look at this. Look at this art, man. It's a red Foresight.
Death bow, the weapon. Ian, thank you. So the bow that the ranger has puts things in face up.
That's what it was.
It was the bow. Yeah.
I couldn't find it because I got my token somewhere. Oh, you took the rune chant token I had.
Oh no, I don't want to.
Yeah, there it is.
Here, we'll make a token pile
That's fine.
because we'll share them anyway.
Yeah. Foresight red. The next attack action card you play this turn gains +3. If Foresight is played from the arsenal, opt to go again.
That's value.
That's so good.
Lots of value. Generic?
Yeah. Push the point red. 1 cost. If the last attack on this combat chain hit, push the point gains +2. That's a nice little finisher. Rifting blue. If Rifting hits, you may play your next non-attack action card this turn as though it were an instant.
There's got to be. See, I need to know for my own headspace. When can you play instants?
Instantly.
We want to say at any time, but like when you say, all right, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. Give me just a second. Can I go instant? Ha! Like, is it that kind of a thing?
I think so.
And when you say, all right, I guess I'm gonna play.
assume-
I'm gonna pitch this for resource. Instant.
Frameworks are like playing a card, so you'd have to play it before or after a card gets played.
Right.
Or
Before Gar gets played is an infinite space.
But I
right?
mean, like, if it's my turn, there's a moment before I do anything, right? You'll figure it out. Come to
my
fight
chart?
yellow. The next attack card you play this turn gains +2. Go again. Ooh, yes. Give me the wizard rares. I got an S as well. Stir the Aether Winds yellow. 2 resources, 2 cost. You can play your next wizard non-attack action card this turn as though it were an instant. And if it has an effect that deals arcane damage, instead the effect deals that much arcane damage +2. I like it.
I think you guys are right. Instants are played based on priority. So, I know you're really interested in this. So let me
I'm most
regale
interested
you.
in this card art.
Did you get that fabled?
No. It's a super rare, though.
So this is important for me to actually understand.
It's going to be good if you understand this.
Start of the turn happens until the start of the turn effects end. At the start of the turn triggers. And because players do not get priority during the start of turn phase, the chain will resolve. Okay, so there's no priority worries in the start of turn. Then the action phase happens. Active player gets an action point, can't interrupt that. Then at the beginning of the action phase triggers, can't interrupt that. Oh, they're added to the chain. I said that wrong.
You can play instants during a chain.
At the beginning of the action phase, they're added to the chain in the order chosen by the turn player. Then the turn player gains priority. If the turn player passes, then the non-turn player can play an instant in response or whatever. Okay, so basically,
I'm gonna count on you for that.
Anytime you have priority, you can play an instant.
All right.
Done.
By the way, people asking, does that rulebook come with the starters? It's actually this version, the miniature version, that came in like the retailer introductory kit. But this comes with every starter deck. It's the same rulebook. It's just tiny,
Grab some tea.
like standard. All right, dude, you have to see.
Yeah, what's the card you're so excited
It's Pursuit of Knowledge Blue. It's a super rare. 4 attack, 2 shields, 3 resources,
super
cost
rare.
2. Yeah, super rare. If Pursuit of Knowledge hits, your hero gains +1 intellect until the end of the turn. But look at that art.
It means you draw an extra card?
Yeah.
At the end of the turn? Ooh.
Isn't that cool?
Oof. All the cards that you're saying, look at that art, are literally the ones we sent in the newsletter.
That was in there?
Yep.
That's awesome. I also got a blue Voltic Bolt, and it's foil. It's a wizard action. But look, anytime the lightning is foil or the flame, it's the best. Just look at that.
Hold on, I'm still looking.
Oh, you're reading the card.
That is
actually.
beautiful, actually.
I just like the foilness of it. Let me put it in my wizard pile.
Nathan Bradley on Facebook here saying, hey guys, pulled a legendary from the Arcane Rising box that we sent him.
Did you get 2 legendaries, my friend?
Nathan, which one did you get? Was it the wizard one?
Ooh, there's a wizard legendary? What's that even mean? All right, hey, I got another piece of armor here, another chest piece. This is generic, though. It's a Vest of the First Fist. Looks a little bit like Goku in this world. When an attack action card you control hits, you may destroy Vest of the First Fist. If you do, gain 2 resources.
Very nice.
Could be cool.
Ooh, I like that. This game is getting interesting.
And then I got, of course, my class cards, which I'm going to reference later.
You're done bacon asking, what's the significance of the color band at the top of the card? There are 3 colors. You have red, you have yellow, and you have blue. Blue generates the most resources. It generates 3 resources, which you can see in the top left corner of that card. So let's show an example. Let's go blue Pursuit of Knowledge.
There it is.
All right, it's up. So blue Pursuit of Knowledge, you can see it's got 3 resources in the top left, and it costs 2. Your blue versions of a card are going to generate the most resources for you whenever you pitch them to do that, but they're going to have the weakest effects. So if you actually play a blue card, it's the weakest version of that card, but if you pitch that card, it's the strongest version of that card because it generates the most money. Yellow is in between. It generates 2 resources, but the effect is kind of middle of the road. And then red is the extreme version where it only generates 1 resource if you pitch it, but the effect of the card is the strongest. So it's a really easy reference point to say like, well, this is pretty good at making money, and this one's really good at actually doing an effect. And you have to figure out which versions you're going to run. Some decks will run all 3. I saw a deck last night that ran 9, 3 reds, 3 blues,
Whatever,
3
you just
yellows.
need the effect
Just
and
need the
however
effect,
it works.
yeah.
Steven on chat saying, not all cards have all colors at the moment.
Yep.
Which is cool.
And that, that could happen later too.
I love that art on that foresight that you just plugged.
You seen Whisper the Oracle? Look at that. How cool is that?
That would be awesome foil.
0 cost. Vigor Rush, red. If you played a non-attack action card, gains go again. This is it's just a game where you're going to be stringing together all sorts of insanity.
Always.
That's really what we're looking at, right?
Check this out. I finally got that Crucible of the Aetherweave, the wizard weapon.
Oh, the wizard staff, yeah.
1 cost. The next card you play this turn with an effect that deals arcane damage. Instead, deals that much damage +1.
So just buffs your damage. Now, guys, and I've said this before. When we start getting new weapons for these classes, I am going to lose my mind. That's really what did it for me in Netrunner. When I had an ID, that was a really cool level of customization for a deck. When I had an ID and 6 different consoles to choose from, that was when it really got awesome. So I hope we'll see, who knows, there could be 4 different wizard weapons in a couple of years, and you might run 3 different wizard options, and there's 4 or 5 different weapons,
Yeah.
and you mix and match to your liking and then build a deck around it. It's incredible.
I'm hoping with the wizard, so this first one is obviously fire. I'm hoping they explore the other elements of the wizardry.
Oh yeah, if they have like a water wizard or a
Ice.
Frost is kind of it, but it's really not as cool as water to me.
The coolest is
It's way more static.
the blood bending.
That is
Terrifying.
cool. That's terrifying. Yes.
I got a new card here, Fervent Forerunner Red.
I had a friend who had a Forerunner in
That's
high school.
If it hits off 2, if it's played from Arsenal, it gains go again. That's a great card for 0. That's actually super good.
You're done bacon saying there was only ever Desperado. You clearly don't know my wizard spinal modem build, my friend.
Desperado.
Also, another thing that I learned last night was that if a particular hero does well enough in tournaments over time, they would retire that hero, but then replace with a new hero for that class in the next set. So if you ever lose a hero that you could play in a class,
I love
you
that.
get a new one.
You know how much I love that?
Yeah, I love
You know
it.
what I also love is someday
wife.
having the yes. Hi, if you're watching. What I really love is the idea that someday you would have a like retired characters only,
Yeah.
like a champions champion event.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, we're now
Hall
at
of
8.
Heroes.
We're at 8 people represented, and we're going to choose one champion to play each hero, and we're
Yep.
going to have some crazy event.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Truly beautiful. And they get to go retire, right? They get to go, yeah.
That's right.
Kano was too good.
Dude, you remember the card Scar for a Scar? There's a new boss in town called Life for a Life, red here. Costs 1, produces 1 because it's red. If it hits, you gain 1. When you play it, if you have less life than your opponent, it gains go again.
Those less life than your opponent things are eventually something we're going to have to manage very carefully. Or like you don't want to hit the opponent too hard.
Or there's a built-in comeback mechanic.
It's called the Hall of Fame. Apparently 10 victories and the hero is retired. And that's
Gone.
probably at the higher level tournament series with 10 victories. Bravo is currently leading, according to Steven.
Oh, no. I have to get my Bravo victory in before he goes away.
Look at Absorb in Ether. Have you seen that? Did we see that already? Yellow?
Nope.
It's a
It's
wizard reaction. Next card you play this turn with an effect that deals arcane damage instead deals that much plus 2.
Nice. Dude, check out this convection amplifier art. This reminds me
Oh
of
my
Spoil so
gosh,
much.
look at that card.
0, it's red. Red convection amplifier. 0 cost, 1 resource provided. Convection amplifier enters the arena with 2 steam counters on it.
Mm-hmm.
When it has no steam on it, destroy it. Action, remove a steam from convection amplifier. The next attack action card you play this turn gains dominate. Go again. So they can only block with 1 card. So this is basically going to come in and 2 cards, they only get a block with 1.
That's such a great card. It's just so cool. It's taking me really back. This is taking me way back. There's something that's being like, there's something in my deep brain that is really excited about this.
It's cool. There's so much exploration here.
Well,
we're learning about a world. We're learning about a game.
I also I do think that it's playing into the actual mission statement / kind of how they're pitching it, which is it's a new classic TCG. Like Skytear is a totally new format of game for me that I find super exciting and awesome. Destiny was a new format of collectible game, really, that was like dice-based card combat. But when it comes like this, feels the most like I'm 14 or 15 again, and we're jamming out trying to figure out the best way to go win that tournament. We haven't had that in a long time. There's something about the aesthetic and the art. Warhammer Champions Warhammer Champions took me back to when I was like 7. This takes me back to when I'm like 15 or 16.
Yeah. It's like, I know the feeling. It's you really have a game, an obsessive game at this point.
And it's just cards.
Yeah.
There's no gimmicks. There's no like, here's a new take on X, Y, and Z. It's just like, let's just do it well and make a great system.
I agree. I agree with you.
Oh, I need to start churning through here. You're probably like 7 packs in, aren't you?
I am. Got a Plunder Run Yellow this time. Same vibe. Ooh. You already looked at Oath of the Arcanite, right?
Hard to say, really.
Yeah, you did. I think so. It's a Rune Blade rare.
My kind of card here. Blue Index. Look at the top 3 cards. Put 1 on top of your deck, the rest on the bottom in any order. Costs you 0. Also gives you 2 defense. Nothing like reading to really keep the baddies away.
The Ranger art is way more brutal than I expected it to be.
Yeah, it is. It's gross, isn't it?
It's pretty intense. Yeah. Also, I got the rune hero earlier.
I may end up really
them.
liking that class.
Let's see if we can get our collection going here. I also got the Bracers of Belief. Haven't seen this equipment yet. It's obviously an arms equipment, but destroy Bracers of Belief, reveal the top card of your deck. If you do, the next attack action card you play this turn gets plus X, where X is 3 minus the pitch value of the card revealed this way. So that would be good if you were opting to load the top of your deck, and you make sure there's a low pitch value card on the top.
And that's the Bracers of Belief?
Yeah.
That card looks great. Look at this Null Run hood, too. Nullrune. It's important. I know this is a very nerdy thing to say, but the way that you handle magic says a lot about your entire approach to this entire genre of fantasy. This is the kind of magic that I love. Subtle.
Yeah.
There's tiny little runes on the hood. Clearly, whoever's wearing that has been somewhere and
Yep.
knows what's going on.
They got a story.
But they don't need to show it off. They just got a sweet headpiece.
It's not necessarily big and fancy. Dice Fan says, hey guys, game looks interesting, but I don't know how TCGs work. Are these games pay to win, or is it more like Keyforge, where you grab a starter and a booster and make the best of cards out of your deck, or best out of your deck? So a collectible game is...
Listen to our podcast, really.
We did a podcast last week, Covenant Cast, I think it's episode 142, where we talk about the collectible model in general, but it's pretty simple. It's kind of like baseball cards. You buy a booster pack. These come with 10, 15 random cards, set rarity in each pack. But, you know, they're these starters. We have a 4-pack on our store. Probably a great place to start, actually. We have these IRA decks that are free. We're out right now. We have more coming in, but you can sign up for the wait list. But if you grab 2 of those, they play against each other, and you can kind of learn how the game functions. But there's also the 4 starter decks that come together from the first set, and those are pre-made, pre-built decks that are super fun. And then really past that, it's kind of like Keyforge, except for if you could basically take cards from your favorite decks and combine them. Like that's the big difference.
And then I think the other thing too is, like, if you're looking for that kind of the Keyforge type experience, I just want to buy in and play for a little while and kind of have a much more limited environment. These games revolve almost entirely around limited formats, draft and sealed. So sealed is what we're doing now. So we're taking 6 booster packs. These have a random assortment of cards in them
That's a really good point.
at certain rarity levels. We take 6 packs, we open them. That's about $20, right? We open the packs, we look at all of our cards, we build the best deck that we can from those cards. We put 30 of them together, and then we play against each other. And we can do that over and over and over again. Same deck over and over like you would with Keyforge, or then you could pick up 6 more packs, and then all of a sudden now you're playing a new sealed event. And the difference between this and like a fixed card game like Keyforge or even like an LCG is that as you do these limited events and as you get more cards and have those experiences, you find that you have a larger collection of cards, and then you can take that giant collection of cards, put them all together into a deck, and then try to like best your opponents by outsmarting them in the deck building process and then obviously during play. So it gives you something, like with Keyforge, one of my issues with Keyforge is like I'll end up with like 10 to 15 Keyforge decks, and like maybe I want to play 1 or 2 of them in a more like serious way.
After the first month or 2.
I don't really have anything to do with those decks that I'm not going to use on like a competitive level. But with a game like this, as I build my collection, it actually opens up more and more options for me to have a more interesting constructed environment. So I feel like the cards that I'm collecting along the way continue to have value as I enter into constructed formats and constructed tournaments.
And I think if you're interested in seeing how that plays out, we streamed last week the first like learning game with some of the starters. Yesterday we did sealed, 2 or 3 rounds. Today we're doing sealed again. By the end of our streaming of series, like in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be building up to constructed. So you'll get a sense for what that's like, what it's like with a couple boxes, and as we keep expanding. But that'll give you an idea. Also, hey, I pulled Dash.
Guardian of
the
Fun,
hero.
hi. Good to see you. Always happy to see your name in the chat. We will get the box bundles back soon. We will. It's a happy accident. We did not expect them to run out in about an hour.
They gone, but they'll be back.
I wasn't expecting it, but I am pleasantly surprised by it. I will tell you that honestly.
Agreed.
Blue Enchanting Melody.
Hold on, I said Dash. Dash is a hero. You guys start the game with a 2 cost or less mechanologist item in play.
Oh yeah, that is a spoils card.
Yeah.
Dash is great.
We should
She's
return.
awesome.
What is it? I can't see.
Those are all tokens, yeah. Blue Enchanting Melody. Check this out.
All right, hit me.
Roll it into, first of all, again, good example of just like weird fantasy art that I actually really enjoy.
Oh, yeah,
it's just like, what is this, a siren? I mean, what's happening?
That kind of gives me a siren / Egyptian vibe.
Yeah, everything's so strange. Go again. It would be, if you would be dealt damage, instead destroy this and prevent 2. At the beginning of your end phase, destroy it unless you played a non-attack action card. So basically, it sits in your thing, it permanently is there as long as you're playing non-attack actions every turn, and then once you would take damage, it prevents 2. So it's kind of a way to plan for the future and not have to spend your turn blocking so that you can do a better offensive move.
Saving a card on a block is huge, and sometimes that lets you get to a block that you couldn't otherwise get to, like a level.
100%.
Especially with like Dominate, where you can only play so many from hand.
Mm-hmm. That's true, yeah.
Check this out. Irina's Prayer, red, Eirina.
Yeah, that works.
Irina.
Irina?
Yeah, there.
Yeah.
Irina's Prayer, red,
That
1
was
cost,
nice.
1 resource. A little
Yeah, you kind of give a little woof.
A little woof to it. Look at this art, though. I love stained glass.
I do
honestly.
too. We put that in the newsletter.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
Every time I'm like, this is
seriously.
next level art, you're like, that's the one. It's a generic instant. Reveal the top card of your deck. Prevent the next X arcane damage that would be dealt to you this turn, where X is 6 minus the pitch value of the card revealed this way. So flip the top card. 6 minus whatever the pitch is. So if it's a 2, it'd be 4. This card prevents the next 4 arcane damage you take.
I
And
love
it's an
it.
instant.
Love it. Do we just need to lean into the stained glass thing? Because we all love it.
I love stained glass.
We just want to have a store with stained glass only?
I mean, it's so
Is that
good.
too churchy, or is we
I
okay
mean, our
now?
name is Covenant, so that could eventually
It would
be
be a little
problem.
confusing. We'd have to finally put like games somewhere.
Although, you know, it
Covenant with stained glass, people are
could-
going to come in there
it
looking
could,
for.
It can make it feel intentional, though, you know, where it's like,
Yeah.
and
not just that it was written on a box when you were 15 and we went for it.
about that. I also got a red absorb in either.
Mm-hmm.
1 cost, 1 resource. The next card you play this turn with an effect that deals damage, arcane damage, instead deals that much damage plus 2, and it's a 4 defense. I'm a wizard now.
Man, Chris, great comment here. Fantastic game. I'm playing it with my 13-year-old, and we're loving it. Simple yet very deep. That's a great person to have on your quarantine team right there. Taylor, how do we realize we can't block arcane damage normally? I didn't fully appreciate that, but
didn't.
now it totally changes my
But there's-
perception of all things. So
There's a lot
thank
of
you,
cards
Taylor.
that have said that they're blocking it, which now seem very important as it happens. All right, I saw a question come
Have
through.
you already done all your packs?
No, this is the last one. Yeah, Tres Million says, "How do I get on the newsletter?" So everyone that has bought something from us usually gets on that newsletter.
Yeah, you check the box. You register an account, and then check the thing on the whenever that happens, and you'll be on there. Actually, you know what? I was talking while I was reading, which is a very difficult thing for me to do. On the bottom, I think it's still in our footer, email updates. You click on that. If you're not logged in, it will ask you to log in. If you aren't registered yet, it will ask you to register. Once you register, on your account section, you go to your account, the source of truth for everything involving us. Go to your account, go to your preferences, and then you'll need to check the box according to the games that you want updates for. Now, that actually reminds me that we may need to add Flesh and Blood to that. I don't know that that actually happened yet. It's hard. There's a lot to do right now.
There's a lot going on.
I'll make myself a note. If you don't see that there, then you will soon.
Promised.
Hold on. Fixing this problem. Add. The last task I had was send Aunt happy birthday text.
It's a nice
You know
task.
what the one above that is?
What?
Buy Wedding Crashers DVD.
That's fantastic. I love that you created a task for that.
Yeah, I didn't feel like doing it quite yet. But Shannon and I are trying to build our DVD collection for when we get out on the land, and the internet will not be as forthcoming as it once was. To newsletter. Okay. Done.
Yeah, Ryan says Flesh and Blood is not on the list.
All right, thank you, Ryan. I got it. We'll get it done. I've got to send a raven about that. All right, hey, I got a super rare that we need to look at here.
Da-da-da-da.
I'll just roll out with like a... nope. This Tome of Aetherwind. Have you seen this one?
Nope.
Another great looking card, right?
Ooh, it's a wizard card.
Yeah, pay 0, wizard action, choose 2. You may choose the same more than once. The next card you play this turn with an effect that deals arcane, deals +1, or draw a card.
All right.
Oh, yeah,
So
nice.
it turns the damage into arcane?
So you could either draw 2, you could get 2 instances of +1, or you could do 1 of each.
Okay. That's pretty good.
You can't hate books. I mean, it's a cool, subtle effect.
You can hate books.
You can hate
Yeah.
books, that's right.
There's-
Silver the Tip, also a rare card here. If you have no cards in your arsenal, look at the top 3, put one from them face up. That's the one you were maybe thinking of. That's another way to get cards in your
Yeah,
face
there
up
you
arsenal
go.
there.
There you go.
You see these bullseye bracers?
Ryan says you guys are out of starter bundles now too. That's awesome. We'll have more soon. If you want those, you can hop on the wait list. I didn't see the bracers. Bullseye bracers. That's
No,
for
those
the
look
ranger,
awesome.
right? Yeah.
Honestly, the equipment cards probably sell me on this game. And
mean,
there's a bow down there, you
That's
know?
half of all games.
Are these
right?
like, see, all of this stuff looks like this is as good or better than what Magali is up to. But look at
I
this.
think they're on that level.
The realism of this and like the
But, you know, would they exist if it had not been for Magali?
Probably. Action, destroy bullseye. You didn't expect that, did you? Destroy bullseye braces if you have no cards in your arsenal. Put an arrow card face up into your arsenal, and it gets +1. Great, so that's another way to do it.
Evan says, any advice how to get an FLGS to support Flesh and Blood? I mean, I have a lot to say about that, actually.
I have advice for your FLGS.
So the thing for me about that is, I think the most important thing you can do is play the game, share it with friends, and because if you're going to get a community going at a local store, you're going to need people, right? And so I think if you can get 2 or 3 people in your own group around that are interested in general, that's a really good start. And then past that, it's if you have a group, and you can talk to local stores and see if they're interested. But you know, the question mark for me is like, what are they providing, and what are they doing, and what do you need from them, and what's the benefit? Both directions. Like, why do you want to be there, and is it to have a healthy community, or is it gonna get you more players, and is it worth their time? But for a lot of stores, it's tough because they can't see, you know, past Magic, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh! And it makes sense, right? We talked about this on the podcast this past week, but the economics of those games is so strong, and they have so many players for it, that introducing a new game is maybe just drawing people away. And if they introduce them to a new game, we've seen this 100 times. New games come out, new games go, and the big 3 stay. And so, like, it's just a lot easier for them to just keep people in that circle. So it can be quite a challenge, but, you know, you can talk to your store, and you can see if it's worth your time, if that's a store you want to hang out in. And at worst, just find some players, start making gatherings happen. And I've seen this happen a lot, where people are just hanging out wherever they want to be hanging out. Isolation also makes it rough right now. It's just a weird time to be a game store, and it's a weird time to try to be building communities.
Spellblade Assault, nice. Mage Master Boots. Oh my gosh, I've got all the anti-mage gear. All right, let's go. Let's sealed, huh?
Yep.
Nathan said Magali's on another level. This art is phenomenal, but come on. Nathan?
She good.
She's good. We've got art hanging there in the store.
So here's what I don't get.
But this is...
So I have Kano here, right?
This is comparable.
Is there a version of Kano that's not the young?
Yes.
Is he in this box somewhere?
Maybe. Maybe you can only run the young version. Should we open the rest of the packs to find out? And we can just put these away, and then we can build 2 sealed decks afterwards. I don't know.
Hey, I'm okay with that.
I mean, at least gives us
That
some
sounds
time
fun.
to kind of look through what we might be drafting or sealing or
So
what
we'll just
have you.
keep this pool.
Keep all the tokens over
Yeah,
here.
Lion says you just didn't pull them in the box yet.
Yeah, so let's see, because we actually were curious.
Put our tokens here. So I'm gonna leave this stack here. We're gonna keep opening. That sounds fun, actually.
Let's just
I
open
could do
another
this all day.
round, yeah. Let's just
All right,
open
so
another
here's,
round.
I'm gonna put Kano on top of my first stack because I'm gonna play Kano.
Are you? All right, I will keep all of my... So then we got all of the tokens here that we're gonna put together, because this is a shared pool whenever you do sealed. Okay, and this is my first sealed stack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
You're done. Bacon says, who's Magali? Magali is actually her name. She's an artist that did a lot of early Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones art that was incredible. She's since been picked up by Magic, and she mostly does art for them, but it's just, her art is just, it's M-A-G-A-L-I. Her art's next level.
Very, very good.
So this is technically a whole booster box, right? Once we each open 6 more.
This could be what?
This is a whole booster box once we each open 6 more.
That's right. Yeah, so we'll see if the token math ultimately works out.
Ooh,
The old
so
crack
Silver
bomb.
the Tip red. We've seen that before.
Yeah, that's a good version, though.
But Become the Arcanite blue. Have you seen this one?
No.
Visari specialization. You may only have Become the Arcanite in your deck if your hero is Visere?
Viscerae?
Visere? V-I-S-E-R-A-I.
Viscerae!
Choose one. Discard a non-attack action card. Search your deck for a Runeblade attack action card. Reveal it and put it into your hand. Then shuffle your deck. So you get a filter and go get. It's 0 cost too. Or discard an attack action. Search your deck for a Runeblade non-attack. Reveal it. Go again.
So go get a Runeblade card.
Yeah.
All right. Go get a card.
Plus a
Usually
foil
pretty good.
red Aether Flame. That's a great foil.
Ooh, that's something that's got your attention there.
Ooh, look at this talismanic lens.
It's on our newsletter.
Nice. Instant. Destroy it. Op 2. Great. I love it.
I do like that actually quite a bit. I love that card. Got a super rare here. Got the S.
Wah, wah, wah.
Induction chamber for mechanologist here. It's red induction chamber. It has an action. Spend a resource. If there are no steam counters on it, put a steam counter on it and go again. So you can load it for an action and a resource, and then you go again. So basically, spend a money, put a token on it. Once per turn attack reaction, remove one. Target pistol attack gains go again. That's so good.
That's phenomenal. You just became an arcanologist.
Man,
mechanologist. Benjamin Dodd, this is a great comment. Glad to have you here. It says, ordered the 4 hero packs and the intro pack yesterday. Every game you guys introduce is amazing. This weekend, I even bought into Arkham Horde because your awesome playthroughs. Love the streams.
That's so great.
So
Benjamin.
happy to hear that you're digging it and to have you here. And I don't feel bad about getting you into any of those games.
Yeah, we take it. We curate a lot more, right? So like you look at any of the other big online warehouses, and there's a bajillion games, right? 1 bajillion. And so we've always really wanted to just cut through the noise and just try to find really kind of the top of class things, even if they're not the most popular. So I'm glad that you're feeling our taste. I guess I would say that. Very cool. Thank you so much. And order the Arkham tokens to match. You're my hero.
Swooshed it.
Absolute hero.
Hey.
Benjamin, thank you.
I got my first M.
What's an M?
Majestic. 2 in a box. Can't see me.
Can't see me.
Blazing Aether. This
It's a wizard thing, too.
0. It's red. 0 cost, 1 resource. Kano specialization. I got 2 specializations in this deck. So I got the Rune Blade specialization. This is a wizard action. Deal X arcane damage to a target hero, where X is the amount of arcane damage you have dealt to that hero this turn.
Oh, no. That's so good.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's a finisher right there for 0?
Yeah, man.
Ugh.
Get out of town.
That's awesome. Well, in. Yeah, I agree, Steven. I think Arkham Horror is the best, definitely the best living card game right now in my mind. It's hard. I mean, Champions is close, but in terms of just like the deeper kind of experience that I'm usually looking for, if you can have a consistent experience with it, Champions is great because it's like, let's get together for 2 hours and jam it out, and then
it's a different level of
roll
experience,
on.
right?
But if you're looking to have an experience, I mean a notable story experience, Arkham is unrivaled.
It's really next level. There he is. I got the Viseray Runeblood full health version.
There he is, yeah. Nailed it. Hey, let's talk about this, Zach. You're done bacon. You know when the bacon's done? A lot of people have varying ideas about this. Are you a soft bacon or a crispy bacon kind of person? Like crispy to the point of almost burnt?
So I actually, didn't think this is where we're going
You get
today.
bacon in Italy, it's practically raw.
So I had bacon in Italy. It was good.
Was it practically raw?
Yeah, but that doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
I in general am okay with slightly burnt things. Like the taste of burnt doesn't bother me.
Interesting. Carbon?
I don't know.
Your carbon
it's just like a
sensor
char,
is-
like especially off the grill, it's the best.
Yeah.
But so like bacon, if it's like crispier and burnt-ish, is great.
Yeah?
And if it's the best bacon's in the middle.
Of course, yeah.
I describe it as perfectly
I
cooked
think-
bacon, but that's perfect for me.
Honestly, the key to that is people. So I watched a couple. I guess I didn't do this all at once. Like I wouldn't say I watched a couple of people cook bacon. This is over the course of many years. I've seen 2 or 3 distinct instances where I'm watching somebody cook bacon, and I don't want to say anything because I'm a guest or something, right? But the heat is too high.
Gotta let it simmer.
And so like some of it gets just rocked and the other is still somewhat raw, and it's like, what happened? It's low and slow. You gotta cook it slowly. You gotta render that fat out over a very long period of time. All that to say, Your Done Bacon has a question for us. That was not the question, although I know that you're excited to address the bacon quandary. The frustrating thing about the new TCG LCGs is that despite being better than the big 3, they struggle to build community and die out. So this is a reality that we have to face, right? So Destiny went for a number of years, right? And we can, it's easy to make an argument. I think that there's a mature argument to make that the perpetuation of a thing can't be linked to the value of the thing right now, right? Like me being able to do this tomorrow doesn't mean it's less valuable or less fun right now, in the purely like kind of philosophical, even Buddhist sense of like understanding what makes you happy and sinking into the moment and the present. But all that said, it is a thing that you have to consider, that like I want to keep playing these things with these cards with a community, and I want them to keep making it, and I want to keep expanding and exploring, and I love the game, I love the universe. So why is that happening, and is there a way out? Is this a perpetuation forever? Is it just going to be this way?
I mean, I think the challenge is, like, we've talked about the game outside the game before. And one of the bigger games outside the games is just being involved in a community, right? It's part of the experience. And so part of this struggle is, even if there was a better game, there's plenty of games better than Magic, in my opinion. But there are no games that have more players than Magic. And so when you're deciding to play something, spend your time playing something, spend your time money buying something, and you can't buy every game that comes out. And if you can, you're in a fortunate position. But most people, a collectible game, it's like you get one.
Yeah.
And so,
and a lot of times it's dictated by the community that's there, not by what you like, or in many ways what most people like.
And I think the main thing for me is, like, if I had to choose between a game that no one was playing but it was better, and a game that everyone was playing that I thought was worse, I would choose the game that's worse every time. Because a tabletop game without people to play with is worthless.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you can build, you can play solo, I guess, but
you can look at the art.
The excitement for me is sitting across the table from someone and playing.
Yeah.
So, but I think it almost reminds me of, like, I'm not going political, it's just a political example. It reminds me of, like, the two-party political system we have in America, where it's like,
first past the post thing.
You know, it's hard for a third party to actually, even not even a third party, if a new party to come take over, even if there are better parties, parties that have better ideas, that have better ideals, that appeal to more people, there's this momentum in place. But at the same time, it's the same, like, too big to fail, ask Blockbuster, right? It's like, no one can stop Blockbuster if it's 1993. And then it comes in and gets wrecked by Netflix. In the same way right now, people are like, there's no way Netflix can lose. It's like, at some point, Netflix is probably going to lose.
Yeah. Do you think this all revolves then around, this perpetuation cycle is linked specifically to what Magic rose up out of, and Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon, which is the retail model that has existed since the 90s, since Magic made that retail model, right? So is it the retail model itself, this is something that we're considering and like really thinking about all the time, is the revolution there ultimately what's going to carry with it the revolution in the games that are getting played as well? Or can it happen outside of, like, the traditional retail environment changing? I
mean, it could be any of it, right? I mean, that's the thing about
innovation.
innovation.
Meetup.com and, like,
Maybe.
Go to Denny's?
Part of it is just like, I think a game could come along to change this. I think that retailers could evolve. Retailers are already evolving. The market has evolved tremendously. Board gaming has done a number on tabletop. Like, even look at board game cafes, like, that didn't exist in the 90s. So there's a lot of stuff constantly changing, and I think the main thing is having a publisher who understands this. So many games, I feel like this is just bound.
Oh, is it fallen?
Bound for the ground.
Bound for the ground. That's actually hilarious. You guys, I would love to be able to show you what Zach has rigged up there.
I'll just show you. It's hilarious. Anyways, so the recognition for me is, I think at some point things will come along that basically outpace the big three. Part of it too is like, maybe Hasbro does something, decides Magic's not worth it, and just goes purely digital. The whole industry changes.
Yeah.
Necessarily.
And the whisperings and the anxiety about that have been in my sphere for the past 5 years.
Yeah. So, like,
retailers talking and like,
there's any number of outside, in the same way that, like, no one could have predicted Corona. Right?
Yeah, and this might be a thing that disrupts it all.
Sure. And so that's where, like, I think the main thing for me is, I'm somewhat optimistic, and I play the Hail Mary plays, right? So, like, I have always been into the games that weren't the big three. That's just kind of past Pokemon, right?
I'm familiar with that, yeah.
Even Pokemon was, like, not the game, right? It was the number two. And so, like, my hope is that someday, we'll basically keep doing everything we can to support the games that we think have earned it based on merit and quality. And, this game even, Flesh and Blood, it's good enough and it's big enough that it's not like you're choosing between playing with no one or Magic, right?
Right.
I don't think it's on that level, but it does take work. It's a lot easier just to go to Friday Night Magic and play than it is to try to convince people to play a new game.
Mm-hmm. And it's been it's spent year plus in establishing that New Zealand, kind of Australia market, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to take time for it to do the same thing in the EU, in the UK, in the US, in Canada. So you just got to, and then worldwide, right? Like, it's going to happen if the sustained kind of support continues for long enough. I think it will just slowly grow.
And I think
then
that
at that point,
games that are good that have that mentality, and that's what I feel like with both Skytear and Flesh and Blood, honestly, is like, it's not about, I know so many games, even the Spoils, right, when it came out, it was like, it was trying to come in and take over.
yeah,
They were betting big.
$10,000, $20,000, $100,000
prizes the
that
first
cruise,
year. I mean, it
the
was
money
just like,
that everybody's owed.
go crazy, right?
Yeah.
Whereas like these games feel like they're passion projects. Like people deeply care about this, and they're going to do what it takes, and they want to do what it takes to survive and sustain this thing. I think all games, it's a simple ratio, right? Number of people getting into a game, number of people stopping playing the game. And as long as that is positive, and you're willing to stick with it until forever, then there's no reason over time that you can't get there.
Yeah.
And that's the equation. As long as you're not in the negative, right? Or even if you are, you have the resources to last. I think that's another problem a lot of companies run into is like, it can take 2 or 3 years to get to the point.
Take 5 to 6
I mean,
years.
for us, it took a
10
long
years. Took
time,
13
10 plus years,
yeah.
right? To get to the sustainability where like you're not just like constantly losing money and sweating things. And so like for publishers, particularly new publishers, there's a lot to learn. But in this particular case, I think Legend Story has a lot of experience and they know what's going on.
And it seems like they're willing to, they're honestly, they're just willing to dedicate that time to get it done. Like, it's not like a flash in the pan kind of thing. We'll try this for a year and a half, see if it takes off, and then move on to something else.
Yeah.
That's kind of how Champions felt. Warhammer Champions towards the end was like, they were throwing PlayFusion was throwing everything. They were like, well, yeah, it didn't quite work. Let's go digital and let's kind of salvage this and let's move on to the next project. But this very much seems like a company that cares about quality, and that's, you can win on that, right? You can definitely win on quality and just your product.
Yeah.
Like, if your product is better, eventually it will win, I think.
Well, and I think part of that too is like the entire tabletop gaming community is getting bigger. And so more games like Flesh and Blood have space to exist, whereas, you know, in the 90s, there just weren't enough players to support all the games that were coming out. So it's just kind of a different environment.
That, like, minimum viable audience thing is really starting to take over, yeah?
Some cool new cards here. Spellblade Assault Red. It's a rare Runeblade card. Create 2 rune chant tokens. It just looks awesome. It is
it
good,
foil?
too.
If it's not foil, don't talk to me.
Also, look at this. Have you seen the Crown of Dichotomy?
No.
It's the Runeblade equipment. It's a helmet.
Ooh, cool.
It's like a mystical Nazgul-looking helmet. Action, spend a resource, destroy Crown of Dichotomy, put target Runeblade attack action card and target Runeblade non-attack action card from your graveyard on top of your deck in any order. And it's got Arcane Barrier 1.
Very nice. Very, very nice. Man, a lot of chats to catch up on here. Tresmillion, I wanted to hit you. I saw I just signed up for the Arkham subscription and have infected my daughter with the Arkham Horror Bug. I absolutely just love hearing that. A lot of good bacon opinions. Thank you, guys.
I got the
Benjamin said, listen to the podcast this morning. Great thoughts on collectible versus LCG and such.
Nice.
Thank you, Benjamin. Yeah.
I got the Adult Dash.
Ooh, good. Okay, so we're almost there. We've almost done it.
We're going to put the proof in the pudding that you get all of them in there. Got another Life for Life red. Dig it.
Hamstring. Red hamstring shot. It's just, the thing is, the style, the creative direction so far is just realistic enough without being overly violent and gross.
Yeah.
Spoils obviously was like a farce in that direction.
Yeah.
Both like overly sexualized and overly violent. But this is like this is kind of right there. And I think it's a different enough vibe that it'll get people's attention.
Dude, I got a cold foil card, and I could only see the cold foil at first, and I thought it was a legendary.
You get that sweet iron rod?
It's common. Achilles Accelerator. Instant, destroy Achilles Accelerator, gain an action point, activate this ability only if you have boosted this turn. Arcane Barrier 1. That's a good piece of equipment.
I'm just going to start reading your guys' chats here.
Are some of these yours?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. I got all the equipment this round.
There's
a lot of chat right now.
Yeah,
That's
I'm going to get it, though.
I'm just going to keep opening.
Winter XL, good. I think TCGs have a huge sunk cost aspect. Some people have thousands invested in their Magic collections. That's true. Yeah. And the idea is that this stuff actually has long-term value. And I think that's an interesting question, honestly. It does, but also it's like everybody keeps playing because nobody wants to lose value in the stuff that they already have. So it is a bit of a paradox. Also, you'll find somebody to play with. Yeah, Phyllis Master. Nameless Space Trash. Have we been turned off to a game because of its community? I don't want to throw stones in that house, but I will say there is a couple of weird communities that were floating around in our early days, and I'm not going to name them.
Yeah,
good choice. It was weird.
Good choice.
It was weird.
Good choice.
People coming into the store early on, like, "Hey, we'd like to play here," and it was just like,
yeah,
"Oh man,
nope,
this is weird."
Hey, check this out. I mean, part of that's honestly, actually, I'll speak to this a little bit. That was one of the big hesitations and one of the big reasons we don't do Magic. Beyond the fact that it's the game that has tons of community support, it's just like a lot of times the community for that can be quite negative or quite like just aggressive and like take over and stuff. And so
kind of set the tone for the whole industry there, didn't it?
Yeah. Check this out. I got another Viceray specialization card. It's another Majestic. 2 of them.
Oh, good. You got the second one.
It's
cool.
the Arknight Ascendancy.
So you're going to be playing Ruinblade in that pool, I'm guessing.
Maybe. I also have this Majestic here. Oh, that's a super rare specialization. This is the Majestic. So I got 2. So I also have the Wizard one, though. Mm-hmm. So, like, that's a thing. I also pulled the adult Kano Drakai.
I think we're there now, then. So let's go.
And I like this. The adult versions had the young versions on the other side. I'm hoping that's the case across the board.
You know it's not.
Gary says Discord server, Covenant launching one.
Yeah, we're thinking about it. We're looking at it right now. We've got a research coming in on Friday.
And here's the Azalea front and back.
So I think we've done it then. All right, so there's Ruinblade. Yep. So there you go. So one box of Arcane Rising had all 4 young and old heroes in it. So all the tokens that you need. It probably has all the weapons as well. Some variation of the weapons. Nebula Blade, Crucible, and what's the other one? Oh, we need the bow, the Death Dealer.
Well, I've seen that.
Oh, right, because like, didn't we have? Oh, it's here. Yeah. So yeah, we got plenty. So one box, and you've got everything. You've got all the heroes and all the weapons and whatnot. So that's nice. I mean, they have to have distributed in a way that makes that the case. Like that's definitely intentional. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the chat here. I'm gonna catch up though. Evan says Magic the Gathering is the Facebook of the gaming world. It has a ton of flaws, but because it has the audience, people deal with all the flaws.
That's a really good example. Yeah. Honestly.
But man, I hope Too Big to Fail is not real with that one. Tom says, as a board gamer for decades, I've only played card games for the past 3 years. First Destiny, that died. Then got big into Warhammer Champions, that died. Please forgive me if this dies too. Yeah, it's so sad, right? It's so sad. Dying, we say dying about these games, which is, there's an old joke about like, why is it that your computer or your car dies and I don't know. I guess that's not a joke. It's just a reference to a joke.
I was wondering where that was going.
It's not very funny. Yeah, Tom, that's a real bummer. I was huge into Warhammer Champions too. That just bad moves, honestly. Just the wrong moves. Now, here's the thing, though. We really just need to not. I just want to keep playing these games because the Throwback Thursdays have totally revolutionized my thinking on this. I'm as excited for Spoils tomorrow as I was when it was active.
Yeah, you can play anything forever.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if it's in print or not.
But it is different. I get that.
Oh, man.
Mobile and online games are having an effect too, yeah. Tom says he was close to buying it in Netrunner, thought about it for a week, and then the announcement came that it was stopping.
Still a phenomenal game.
Yeah, so good. Magic the Gathering is ubiquitous. You can play it anywhere. Steven's saying, yeah, that's true. X-Wing is one of the longer running games right now.
Yeah, we're on year 8.
Yeah.
If you count the first and second edition as the same thing.
Phyllis Master, you may be coming in here with the right idea. Even though many of the games I play have died, I feel they were still worth experiencing. I would have regretted sitting out of Netrunner or Conquest. Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. Did the lighting get dimmer? Is that real? I don't think so. We've got kind of a ghost in the machine today, but...
You got any of that bacon you were talking about?
You got any of that bacon?
I suddenly got hungry.
I'm
going to play Rune Blade out of this pool and Wizard out of the other. I'm going to start with my Wizard.
Blake's saying until a game has the marketing budget and stores have the economic incentive to push it and host it, I don't think anything will overtake the big three. Flesh and Blood has the marketing budget. Now, do stores have the economic incentive to push it and host it?
I think so. I'll tell you why. Hold on.
Yeah? Bring it on.
Bring it on. So I think the main thing on the economic incentive, especially for stores, it's going to be the renegades, right? And basically the stores,
the dreamers, the visionaries,
that's right,
the revolutionaries,
the round squares and the peg,
the round squares and the peg holes.
No, but really, I think a store, good stores that pick up on a game like this that actually is good and is going to get marketed from the publisher and is going to have some traction. I think there's a tremendous amount of upside to being the store that carries it.
Yeah, that's actually true.
Like the store, it's the same thing for us. We don't do Magic at all.
Mm-hmm.
But we're the store in town that is the non-Magic Pokemon Yu-Gi-Oh store.
Mm-hmm.
So like anything that's not that.
That's actually true. If retailers have their heads on, then you need to not be just another Magic store.
Because this game
something unique.
Has the same economic incentive per player as something like Magic does, right? So like people that don't want to play Magic but want a collectible experience, like it's not the same because Magic's going to have a lot more people and you have to do a lot less effort. But like you probably don't have to be doing anything with that anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So like throw this on a different night or whatever. So that's where like it's interesting enough, and I think that's why they were seeing traction that they were seeing is like this can do very well for a store if it wants it to. And the upside is actually there. Listen to the podcast, same thing. There's enough upside there that like it's interesting to do as compared to get 50 Champions players and you're making a couple $100 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Get 5 people playing this in your store and you're making just as much money.
This is a classic. This is a classic marketing. We'll pull out here and just have a live podcast, I guess. This is a classic marketing. It's like the key thing you have to come into the space is market differentiation. You have to have a compelling value proposition for people to say, why me over that guy? Why this store over that store? And if you're saying, of the 8 stores in my city that all have Magic tournaments on Friday night, come to my store because I also have, root beer. It's stuff like that. But if you can literally just say to all the people who want to play something other than Magic the Gathering or Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Pokemon, but still want a collectible experience, I'm the store and I'm going to invest in that and I'm going to make that brand what I'm about. I think it would be very successful, but I do think that a lot of retail owners, are living, very, it's very tight budgetarily. Like you're just barely making rent or just barely making enough cash. So do you really want to spend this money to invest in a new strategy that maybe won't pay off for another 6 months, if at all? There's a lot of risk there. And people who are in this industry, people who play these games generally are all about avoiding risk.
Yeah.
Like that, the whole thing. I play this game the best by avoiding risk. I play Netrunner the best by avoiding risk, etc. Right? So you kind of get in this mindset of how can I make the best play with the least amount of risk? And I think that does trap some people. But if store owners were willing, the owners that are willing to do that or can get the investment to do that, I think they should look at this and say, I think this could be a giant payoff for me. Yeah. And it would revolutionize their business.
And I think the stores that catch it early will do extreme, like once you become the store that this is played at,
mm-hmm.
it's as we said earlier, the momentum is hard to shift. So once all the Flesh and Blood players in your town play at your store, you got it.
You got it.
And then the upside of a collectible game is not only is the per unit purchase per customer higher, but like draft and seal are a thing.
Yeah, way.
And then it's like, your Magic players don't have to buy a collection to play this game.
Right.
They can just pay $20 to play a draft, and they'll get it.
Yeah, this is a good time.
The risk would be that you basically destroy your Magic community by doing that, right? So
mm-hmm.
like Magic players drift over into these games that are better.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you're dividing, like you don't want to divide your communities too much because that's a problem.
There's probably a lot of stores though that are hanging on to their smaller Magic communities because most of the Magic players are going somewhere else. And like this is an opportunity for you to, rather than fight for those players and fight against a store that maybe has more revenue than you, has more, because if they're getting all the players, they're getting more money, which means they can pay marketing to get more players. It's like, it's a way to differentiate yourself and find that, not necessarily a blue ocean, but to find that little niche that you have that is going to offer something that isn't just trying to do what everyone's doing better.
Yeah,
it's a race to the bottom a lot of the time.
It's the same thing with like how a local coffee shop competes with Starbucks.
Yes,
like
that's correct.
You have to be doing something different and better. And there's stores. There are enough stores out there now that like there are going to be stores, and that's what I was saying. The market's grown enough that it's not just there's the 2 or 3 game stores in town. Right? It used to literally in Tulsa, it used to be a miniature store, a magic store, and then us.
Yeah, whatever they were doing.
Yeah, however that
they're selling
magic works.
Torchbearer, Game of Thrones, LCG, and the spoils. So somehow making it work.
But now, I think there's enough stores that like it just takes. If right now even there were 200 or 300 stores in the States total pushing this game, I think that's enough and
that's
enough
way
players
more than enough
for this game to be successful and continue growing for years to come.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
Bar's not that high.
Also, Brandon Powers and Pressure82 having some good comments here, basically saying it's good enough and different enough that you can play it alongside other card games. It's not a replacement necessarily.
I
think that's true. Budget is the issue.
Is the budget, yeah.
But you can also pitch it as play a sealed every couple weeks. Just have a good time, different time, right? Different part of your brain. Okay, are we building?
I'm building. I'm going back to my original card pool first. I'm gonna play Wizard first because that's what I'm really excited about. And then I'll come back and revisit. I'm going to do Rune Blade second, based on the card pool that I got.
Aaron Clark, that's so cool. Watching you open these packs has me so excited for Friday when my Keyforge sub arrives. Absolutely. And then I think next week or week after we're doing Mass Mutation, right? We're streaming
It's on the schedule for next Wednesday.
It's on the schedule next Wednesday.
Yeah, we're supposed to. I'm planning on chatting with you about that after this.
Henry, we haven't said anything more about the Discord server yet, but it's in the works. Jonathan McKinney asking, does this game over-sexualize characters? Do you think it will be welcoming for a diverse audience? This is a really good question. I haven't seen anything that strikes me as over-sexualization in an overt, like, I guess just a weird way. Like Spoils, obviously, you have like the 2-player box, and it's like big bosomed woman, like all up in your face.
I think that's a good comparison. Like when we play it tomorrow, we're gonna have to put a warning on the title. That's like this is for mature audiences because they are just going too far in too many places.
Yeah, and so it's not that, which is good. And then in terms of like diversity, I think the representation could definitely be better, and that's actually something that we've actually have been talking to Flesh and Blood about, and they're hip to it. They are on the ball on that, and I'm very excited about some of the things that are coming down the pipeline on that front. So I would say I have confidence that this is a very mature and aware group of people that is actively kind of curating what is in their universe and making sure that it's done respectfully and effectively, I would say, in terms of representation. So I'm excited to see where it goes. I have very high hopes for it. Yep. I think I'm almost to the bottom of the chat here. Have I gotten there?
I don't know. Matthew Halstead is the last one I see. Nameless says, has TC ever done a podcast to discuss how to get people into tabletop games? I have a lot of friends who play video games but can't get over the nerd stigma of tabletop.
Isn't that crazy?
That's
not crazy. Isn't that funny?
I feel like we've discussed it. That would be a good topic, just in general.
Get the game. Man, there's a lot of chats
here.
You're
done says, Big Bosom, you have a word for that. It's called buxom.
That's true, yeah. Just curious. Aaron Clark, what games consider the big 3? That's Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, and Magic.
What up, Bangarang? Says, finally made it to a Flesh and Blood stream. Is it over? No, it's not.
We're only
just
beginning.
Now about to start.
All right, I'm going to miss a lot of chats, so I'm very sorry for that. But you guys are having a great discussion on your own.
All right, so I'm going to play Kano this first time, and he has an instant ability. He pays 3. Look at the top card of the deck. If it's a non-attack action, he can banish it. If I do, I can play it this turn as though it were an instant.
Should we go to the build table? Let's build.
Yeah. So I'm basically looking at non-attack actions. I have my generics out, and I'm
Whoa, look at you. You're spread out like
and
crazy
I have my wizard stack here, which I'm going to get to in a
because
minute.
you already know you're going there, yeah.
Yeah, but basically, I'm just looking for my non-attack actions to see if there are any.
And I'm going to start with the classic. So I'm going to take my 6 booster packs. I'm going to separate them into my 4 classes and my generics. And then I'm going to see, first thing I do is I'm just going to count how many cards I have in each class. Because sometimes you'll get like a lot of your foil slots will be of a certain class. A lot of your rares will be at a certain class. So if you have 3 to 4 more class cards for one of the stacks, that can actually indicate that you should probably go that direction. But I'm not there yet. So, and I'm also going to put my equipment in a different stack too. Ruin Blade.
Yeah, so I had a good amount of wizard cards here, which is why I picked it, and that's who I want to play. So here we are. So basically, I can turn my generic actions here into instants. So I just want to read through those and see what they do. Lead the charge blue is the first one. It's cost 0 the next time I play an action card with a cost 2 or greater this turn. Gain an action point. So as an instant, that would be. Let me think if that even makes sense.
It's a good place to start. Is what I'm saying making sense?
That would be fine. If that flips off top of deck, it's a 0 cost, so that's actually really good. I'm gonna grab the 0.
You know that I've noticed all of these wizard cards are just wizard actions. They're not attack actions.
Yeah.
Huh. That's how wizards work, I guess.
Yeah, they play action cards. Yeah. I have 2 rare plunder runs. I have the plunder run yellow and blue, so this is really cool.
I love that card actually. Actually, like it's like unexpected. It's like yeah, I love that card. It's a good card. Generic. Man, I seem to just rock you when it comes to equipment pulls. I'm going to be like the best dressed hero every time we do sealed, for sure.
Faux show.
Talismanic Lens.
Oh, that's really good.
Mechanologist, Rune Blade. Blade, Wizard. You gotta learn this whole set.
Oh,
too,
you know what's crazy?
Tell me.
So I have 2 of this Foresight Red and Foresight Blue.
Like a Star Wars thing, or
No, if it turns into an instant though, it says the next attack action card you play this turn gains +3.
Yep.
So as an instant.
Do you have enough attack actions though in Wizard?
I mean,
a lot of them are just actions.
This is attacks.
That's sick as an instant though, yeah.
+3 is an instant?
Boom. Yeah, because it doesn't take your action, right?
No, it says the next action card you play this turn. So if you already played it, you wouldn't trigger that.
No, you're thinking weird FFG rules. The next one you play after you play this card gets +3.
So, but if it was an instant, I would have to resolve that instant before I played the attack.
Yes. So basically, you'll get priority, you'll play Foresight, and then you'll play an attack action card as your action. You hip to that?
Yeah. 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 Okay.
Wheels are spinning, man.
Cool.
Wheels are spinning.
Just thinking.
Wheels are spinning. I feel like Wizard is kind of a fun one to figure out because it's probably going to be very, very bad at first.
That's what people are saying. Blake says when you're done with the drafting, well, you construct decks from only the 2 booster boxes. That's basically the idea. So I want to crack boxes like we've been doing sealed, and then we'll come back next week and start testing the waters on limited constructed with our 1 booster boxes from each set.
We'll probably play a Blitz.
Yeah, it's a format. I
should probably Blitz.
Heard about it, but then
it's just tiny constructed.
Yeah. So kind of saying, I'd love to see you guys trade after the game. So it's 1 collection. So what we're gonna do is
we should trade though, just to see how awful it is trying to trade cards with Zach. Oh my gosh, my entire life, growing up, it's like I feel like I was like, here's your 17 rares, man. Just give me that like droid already. Goodness gracious, get your Scry magazine out of here.
I guess there's a reason you were comfortable going into business with me. You knew how I traded.
13, 14.
And you knew my risk and reward tolerance.
Had a lot of faith, yeah. 14, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12,
That's
13.
Dude, Fervent Forerunner red, 0 cost attack. If it hits, you get opt 2. So you look at the top 2 cards of your deck and you can filter them. But if it's played from Arsenal, it gains Go Again. So it's a free attack that does 3, and if you play it from your Arsenal, it's Go Again.
Dude, free for 3. That's all you got to say.
Free for 3.
Only 11 Mechanologist cards. So I've actually got 15 Wizard, 14 Ranger, 13 Ruin Blade. So I'm probably, next thing I'm going to do is look and see if there's any like tantalizing rares
Goodness,
that would
that's
make
great.
something really good. I've got 2 of these Ruin Blade, 3 of these Ruin Blade rares. Okay. I'm not going to play Wizard, so I'm just going to put that away because I don't want to have a Wizard on Wizard like slap fight. Mechanologist, I don't feel like I have enough of those cards, so I'm going to cut those as well. How about the Rangers? Now, I want to play Rangers, so that will impact my choice.
I had 2 Moon Wishes in this pool and no Sun Kisses, so bye.
Ooh, yeah, 4 Ranger rares. That's my most rares in a pool. So I'll take Ranger here. So I kind of made that decision. I'm going to set all my other class cards aside. And now I also have a Ranger equipment. So this looks really good. So I've got the hood, the Null Rune hood. I've got the Mage Master boots. I've got the Bullseye bracers. And what I don't have is I don't have any body. I've got no body equipment. So I'm just going to deal with that.
Nobody to love.
Nobody. Rangers don't have, Rangers, you know.
You're supposed to be the best dressed, though.
You're unencumbered. You know, you got to shoot arrows and stuff. You can't wear, Rangers can only wear light armor, and that's only if they specialize in it. Speaking of celebrating, like, nerdiness. We actually had in our essentially kind of brand manual, we don't use that word.
Nerd.
Nerd, dork, all that kind of stuff. It's unnecessary. It plays into its own, perpetuates its own stereotypes, which don't actually really matter, especially if we want to break out of them. Particularly.
Yup.
I'm all for celebrating like being awesome. We don't have to
these-
talk about it in a negative way, though.
These wizard actions are your action.
Yeah. Spells are hard.
I like it. I just didn't fully appreciate it till now.
Oh man, good Ranger stuff here. Very nice. 2 red headshots. That art is going to sit with me. That is awful enough. Like, it's not bad. Awful in the way that it like turns me a little bit. You know, it's like, I don't know. Just like the hypochondria on Arkham.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Where the bloody hands and stuff is like, ugh. Of course, I'm kind of a pass out in this side of blood, unless it's somebody else's.
Someone else's blood.
Well,
I
so
get
somebody
it.
else's blood I can deal with until it's solved, and then I will try to pass out most of the time. But I go into emergency responding mode. Jonathan McKinney, this is a good question. Each set has 4 new classes. You don't have warrior cards in these boxes, right? So it's not exactly true. So the first set had 4 classes, and the second set, which is this one, has 4 new classes. Third set, we're not sure if it has any classes. There might be 1 new class. There might be something weird. There's a weird speculation because there was a weird card spoil that said Shapeshifter, and it was a legendary. Now, if you told me there's a new class with a legendary hero, I would say something has gone wrong. Like, that doesn't, you can't have a legendary slot that you got to dig through a 96 plus booster packs to find a hero that you want to play. Mm-hmm. So if that is the case, well, I'll have some strong words. But there's got to be something weird going on with that. Like, what does it mean, Shapeshifter hero? Do you apply, maybe you apply the Shapeshifter hero to an existing hero, and it does, like, gives them a slight buff, or it changes their class ability a little bit or something? I don't know. We have no idea. But generally, I think the idea is you introduce classes in the base sets, and then you have Crucible of War, the third set, which kind of expands on the concepts of those 8 classes. Now, in the fourth set, are we going to get 4 new classes? I don't know. We could get 4 new classes. We could get new weapons for all the existing classes. We could get new heroes for all the existing classes. Some people out there maybe know more than I do.
I'm excited to see it though, right?
Yes.
Like, because in this next set, we're supposed to get a lot of equipment and a lot of, like, basically everything to double down on everything we've got.
That's right.
So that'll be pretty fun because I feel like right now we're going to do lean heavy, draft sealed, limited deck building as we build up to constructed. But then, like,
I hope we never get out of that mode.
I feel like the third set, though, will be really good for customizing and tweaking and picking certain armor pieces and weapons that go with certain characters and all that kind of stuff.
That's my hope, too. All right, so let's look at Azalea. I'm looking at Ranger.
Iggy?
This is young Azalea. Yeah, Iggy Iggs. So
She disappeared.
once per turn action, 0. So I guess that just means no money, no resources. I've never seen that 0 before. Put a card from your arsenal on the bottom of your deck. If you do, put the top card of your deck face up into your arsenal. If it's an arrow card, it gains dominate until end of turn, and you go again. So this is a hero that wants to know what's on the top of the deck. So I'm going to be looking at a lot of opting with Azalea because it's going to allow me to put something from my arsenal or from the top of my deck into my arsenal face up, which is going to trigger some of the cards that I have. Death Dealer says 1 resource if I have no cards in the arsenal. Put an arrow card from my hand face up. If I do, draw a card and go again. Wow, so Death Dealer is insanely good.
It is insanely good.
Huh. On the bottom of your deck. Okay, so this is a lot of filtering and finding the right arrows to use in the right moment. So then I'm going to go to my generic cards. And I'm going to start looking at things that are going to allow me to kind of control the top card of my deck. And this is just kind of my conceptual ideas here. Let's see what we've got. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do, I think in this set, we've seen this little Sun Kiss, Moon Kiss combos. Sun Kiss, Moon Wish, I should say. So I'm just going to take a look and see if I've got enough of those for it to matter.
I did not.
2 of each so far. So I like this. So this is kind of cool. I've got a blue and a yellow Moon Wish here. Generic attack. Put a card from my hand on top of my deck rather than pay the cost. So that's what I want to do anyway as a ranger. If it hits, search my deck for a card named Sunkiss, put it into my hand. Then I can play Sunkiss. If it's red Sunkiss, I gain 3. And if I played it, I draw and go again. Okay, this is good. Yeah, so I think Moonwish Sunkiss is good for rangers. Putting cards on the top of my deck, then trigger Azalea's ability to do something, make my arsenal face up, then hit Sunkiss, gain some money, draw a card, or gain some life, draw a card. Okay, I like that. So I'm going to put those in, theoretically. Also like anything that has 0 in the top right.
Right.
Okay, then I've got lead the charge. So let's look at this. Next time you play an action card that costs 0 or greater, so an action card, gain 1 action point. Okay, how many action cards do I have? A lot. Cost 0 or greater. What? Isn't that every action, right? You think there'd be cards with -1 as a cost? Isn't that weird?
That would be weird.
Huh. Okay, cost 0 or greater this turn, gain 1 action point. Okay. That just seems so universally good. Stacking actions. Okay. Okay. Lead the charge, okay. Fate Foreseen is a good little opportunity here. Opportunity.
Got him.
Yeah, got myself. Okay, the next attack action card you play this turn gets +2. If it's played from Arsenal, opt to. I'm going to cut Foresight just because I think that all the arrows are going to be going in my Arsenal, so I don't want to compete for slots.
Yep.
With Arsenal
You
stuff.
got 2 Moonwish, 2 Sun Kisses. You
Dude.
got it ready to go, man.
I'm going for
Look
it.
at those arrows. I feel like I'm going to dig the Ranger when it comes down to it.
All right, so Vigor Rush. If I played a non-attack action this turn, it gains go again. So let's see. I've got action, action, attack, 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 attack. So no, I don't think I have enough of those for that.
By the way, Ryan Roper says, lead the charge red is amazing. The reason it says 0 is to keep it more consistent. Yellow is 1 and blue is 2 or more.
Oh, right.
So
okay, so
it's
it's consistent
the
wording
good
of the
version,
card.
yeah.
Right on.
I'll be right back. You need anything?
Oh, are we drinking beer yet?
Oh, could be.
I would do that.
It's 3:30.
It just there's a good lightness today. I don't know. I like to drink when I'm happy, not when I'm sad. It's good words to live by, isn't it? Good words to live by. Okay. So then we got Plunder Run. Now Plunder Run is good. Next time an attack action card you control hits, draw. If it's played from the arsenal, the next attack action card you play this turn gets +1. So again, it's going to have the arsenal conflict with a lot of the arrows that I think I'm going to want to put in the arsenal. But I have a lot of attack action cards. This is going to be my maybe pile. Face up into a zone from your deck. Gain 1 action point. Oh my gosh. So Back Alley Breakline kind of seems like the whole... This is like 4 Rangers, right? We're looking at blue. Let's pull up... Jonathan, can you pull up blue Back Alley Breakline? So if an activated ability or action card puts it face up into a zone from my deck, so that could be Banished or Arsenal. I think Arsenal's a zone, right? Gain 1. So that's in the short list for sure. Whisper the Oracle, yellow, is still there. I don't care about recursion. I'm not going to worry about some of these cards that have... I like these Enchanting Melodies. I got Enchanting Melody blue. I think I have a couple in this pool, so I think I'm going to use those. Fervent Forerunner, yeah. Lead the Charge. Oh, another red Lead the Charge. That's a good sign. Push the Point, yellow. If the last attack on this combat chain hit, it gets +2, so a 5 damage attack. Well, that's always good, right? Blue Back Alley Breakline. See, this is a cool thing. It's kind of acting as a resource generator for me, and then if it happens to trigger off of my face-up effect, I get to gain an action point, which is pretty nice. Actually, the picture of the card revealed this way. Okay, Ravenous Rabble. Red. Reveal the top card of your deck. Gets -X, where X is the pitch value of the card revealed. And then it has go again. For 0, oh yeah, that's 100% in. I'm going to be controlling the top of my deck. Everything's going to be fine. Fate Foreseen blue, the little opt there for nothing. Whisper the Oracle red. Opt 4. Whew. Come to Fight is really nice, I think, for Ranger. Now, am I right about that? Probably not. Okay, so here's my short stack. Let's just see how many cards we've got. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay? 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. So we're currently at 32 cards, so we need to cut 2. I think I'm going to cut Push the Point. And probably this red. I'm going to cut this red Whisper the Oracle. It's only Opt 4 as opposed to Opt 3 for the yellow. So I'm just going to cut that one. And then I've got, I feel like, enough resources. I don't really know what I'm looking for, honestly. I'm still just bad at this. So if anything, I'm a little light on resources. But there's really not a lot of... I mean, maybe we'll add a Plunder Run blue just to have another blue card in there. And maybe we'll cut this yellow Fate Foreseen. No way. Yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay. Just play with some of the new cards, see how it goes. All right, there's 30.
Figure it out.
I got 30 cards, man.
What else we got?
Oh, thank you.
Beer 30.
Okay. This is such an exciting moment. So I only played, I know I've said this a million times, I just want to give people permission to have this opinion. I've only played Spoils sealed, really. And there's such an excitement when you get to quickly kind of build something from a limited pool. You have a limited amount of time. You have a small amount of cards. You put it together the best you can, and you get to immediately see how it works. And you're not going to lose to some weird like combo wombo thing that you didn't tech for or whatever. It's just like, well, did you put your cards together well? Is the deck functioning? Are you playing it okay? And sometimes the answer is yes, and then you like win the tournament, and it feels amazing, truly amazing. Okay. Let's see what else is going on. I would cut Fate, as you said, Ian, but I don't know that I'm playing against Wizard, technically. I'm not going to tech. I'm going to tech against Zach. He's over there. He looks so... I mean, I'm pretending that I'm about to go into, like, a random Swiss tournament or something, so...
You're playing Azalea?
Mm-hmm.
This is for you.
Ooh, Cold Foil Death Dealer. They're one of the cards you can get in our booster box bundle, the foil version of the weapon there.
Yeah, it's hard to see on the screen because it's just how the cold foiling works, but it looks awesome. There's 8 of these. There's 8 weapons across the first 2 sets. We have a bundle on our website. There's a wait list for it right now. We'll have more in probably later this week. But if you buy a bundle, you get a box from set 1 and 2. This is drafting a set 2. And you'll get 2 random cold foil weapons from those 8. And if you buy 2 bundles, you'll get 4. And we'll make sure you don't get duplicated as long as it's in the same order. So if you buy 1 bundle and we ship it, and then you're like, I want another one, it's possible you would get duplicates at that point.
Yeah. And if you buy 4 bundles, like some people in the chat that can reveal themselves if they'd like, first of all, you're great. Thank you. And second of all, you would get all 8 of those promos guaranteed, so a full set of those weapons. Nathan Bradley, that's cool. First sealed / draft I ever played was in Magic, and I won the tournament. Such a fulfilling experience. You will not get 2 ninja weapons, Steven. It's 1 of every weapon.
Technically, you can play 2 ninja weapons.
Yeah.
That could have been a clever thing that we did. We didn't.
Yeah, we did not do that.
It gets very complicated.
And the way the promo quantities that we have are equal, right? So if we do 2 ninja weapons, then we throw off all of the quantities so that a lot of people would get no ninja weapons.
I assume that would also mean that the ninja weapon will eventually become the card that is the most valuable.
It probably would be the most valuable of the first set, yeah, for sure. I know, Ninja needs to. I know, 100%. One of them will be shiny.
Bangering said, man, I wish I had big bundle energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
How are you feeling about your deck here?
I'm feeling magical.
Yeah?
I'm just trying to line this up.
Yeah, it'll mess with you.
I feel good. I'm excited to play Kano. I mean, Fire Wizard is...
About as on
pretty
brand
on the
as
money.
it gets.
Yeah, the old Fire Mage.
Dydra asking a good question. What's the lore TLDR behind this game? Do you have that book still?
I took it home.
You took it home.
I'm reading
Well, then
it.
Can you answer us?
Yeah, sure.
Give me the rundown. Are we talking? Is it like vanilla fantasy, like Ruin Wars, or is there something interesting going on?
Well,
That's an unfair thing to say. I'm sorry I said that. But
Ruin Wars is generic fantasy. I mean, that's fair. I think that's a fair assessment. It's definitely
Thank you,
so
Ryan.
there's
Thank you so
like
much.
this, as far as I know, and if you've read the lore book and you understand more than me, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. Picture this island,
Island,
almost like
like in New Zealand. Actually, talking to Legend Story, the original kind of development of the setting and whatnot is all based on a lot of like the people, the creative team, drawing a lot of personal experience and personal people that they know and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so that will continue to expand over time. But that is your best source material, is what you know, which is you, right?
Sure. It reminds me a picture like Westeros or Middle Earth. Anyways, there's water obviously around. People can sail into this place.
So New Zealand, dude.
But it's a relatively big island, and towards the center of it, I forget the name of the city. It might be called Sol, S-O-L. But it's the light of Sol is where like Dorinthia comes from, and there's like the Knights of Sol, and they worship the light and all this kind of stuff. But it's this big shining city on the hill kind of vibe. And then I've read about that, and I just
Fire
read about
Nation
the
attacked.
wilderness. And the Fire Nation attacked. But there's a wilderness that is largely unexplored. It's where you get all these crazy creatures. It's where the
I love that.
What's the creature that I the big brute that I brute?
Yeah, the
It was
orky
brute.
type
I couldn't
thing,
think of it. It's a brute. I was like, what's the class? The brute. He has a really cool story actually. So he basically kind of gets like orphaned and has to fend for himself out in this crazy wilderness where things can just murder you. And then he strong survive, right? King of the jungle vibe, almost kind of thing going on. And then he almost gets captured by humans, and then brutally crushes them. And it kind of scars him, I think, ultimately on the whole like how humans behave thing, which is going to be fun to see. But I've read about the soul, the Dorinthia people, and the brute. I haven't the other two. I'm not there yet. But it seems like there's different cultures from different areas, and the soul people are also very knowledge based. They have the librarium, the big, like they collect a bunch of knowledge and data and whatnot. But I can't tell if something fishy's going on with them. It reminds me of like
It's a setup, dude.
yeah, it reminds me of like maybe the Maesters and Thrones, where it's like you're supposed to be just for the good of the people and neutral and like smart and helpful, and like you're the golden example. But then like there's something going on. I just have a feeling there's something going on there, but we'll see if I'm right or not.
Very
So
cool.
it's a cool. There's some magic. I haven't gotten to the mage characters and stuff. I haven't really been into, but there's definitely magic going on.
Anytime you have and I ran actually a role-playing campaign like this. Anytime you have like an established culture, society, etc., that's kind of
Solana is the city, by the way.
on their own in an island, and then there's sea, there's just ocean or water.
Who knows what's going to
At
show
that
up.
point, you can go anywhere you want. You can make your world continually evolve and grow. And we had a great time doing that on one of our role-playing campaigns. I love nothing more than throwing players into like an isolated, confusing, bewildering place.
You just have to learn what's
Absolutely
going on.
love it, yeah.
The Savage Land's what the wilderness is called. That's where the
Stephen,
brute's
great.
from.
Starter deck's literally just arrived.
Nice.
Time to sleeve and play. Yeah, awesome. Who you playing with, Steven?
You're playing with Zach.
Oh, Steven's off the stream. Later, all. I'm gonna go play.
He gone. All right, so here, I'm going to run down my stuff real quick. Kano, he can pay 3 instant. Look at the top card of my deck. If it's a non-attack action card,
Which is most wizard cards, if not all.
I can banish it. Goes here. If I do, I can play it this turn as though it were an instant.
Okay.
Then is Crucible.
expensive.
Crucible of Aetherweave. Once per turn, instant. I can pay 1, so I can do this on your turn. The next card I play this turn with an effect that deals arcane damage instead deals that much arcane damage plus 1. So this is just pay 1, boost 1, instant. So if I put a wizard action over here with Kano and I can play it, now I can play it on your turn. But a lot of their stuff doesn't have to go again and they're action heavy. So I think he's going to have to do this to basically like fire you down.
Yeah, because this one says you can play it this turn.
So I can play it on your turn as an instant, because I can play instants on your turn.
Oh, right. So on my turn, you can use this ability.
I can pay 3 on your turn to put a card from the top of my deck here, and then I can use it as an instant that round.
So, wow.
And then this is a once per turn instant, so on my turn and your turn, I can pay 1 to boost it.
Oh, you're going to be breaking that structure. Oh my gosh, this is going to be insane.
You got it, which is cool that they didn't do this until the second set. I also got a couple other things. I got Mage Master Boots. Action, pay 1. Destroy Mage Master Boots. The next non-attack action card I played this turn gains Go Again. Go Again.
I have that one too. Got the boots.
I got the Robe of Rapture.
Nice.
Destroy it, gain 3. Also Arcane Barrier of 1.
You can just destroy it to gain 3 money? Oh, that's
action,
great.
destroy it, gain 3.
So a free Kano ability based kind of how
but
that
it's an
functions.
action,
Yeah.
so it doesn't have Go Again. So I'd have to have something I could do with my money that's not action, or have
Interesting.
Go, whatever.
I guess that's true.
Because like if he gets to do his stuff as instants, right? Then like I get the resources to use the instant.
Yeah, that's right. So you can use this as your action point, and then you can invest it here and go instant crazy without, because you don't need an action point to do it.
Yeah. Bracers of Belief, action, destroy Bracers of Belief, reveal the top card of my deck. If I do, the next attack action card I play this turn gains plus X, where X is 3 minus the pitch value of the card revealed.
Very nice.
Go again.
Very, very nice. Well, let's look at what Azalea's doing. So it's a similarly just interesting mechanics here. We got the Norrune Hood, which was fortunate because it's Arcane Barrier 1. So if I take arcane damage, I can pay a resource instead to prevent one of it. And I've got that in 2 places. So I can always pay 2 to prevent 2, yeah. On the Bullseye Bracers here, I've got an additional, these are Ranger equipment, additional ability. I can destroy them. If I have no cards in my arsenal, I can put an arrow card from my hand face up. It gains +1 until end of the turn and go again.
Nice.
So it's a really good, like, all right, let's take a shot.
Let's get it.
And then the Mage Masters, as you were talking about. So then we've got Death Dealer, once per turn action for a resource. No cards in arsenal, put an arrow card from your hand face up if you do draw a card. So similar to what the Bullseye Bracers is going to do. And then Azalea is the interesting one. You can put a card from your arsenal on the bottom of your deck. So I have to have one in my arsenal. I can put it on the bottom of my deck. If I do that, I put the top card of my deck face up into my arsenal. If it's an arrow, it gains Dominate, and then I can go again.
That's really good.
Yeah, it's really cool, right?
She's just like looking for arrows everywhere.
Yes. It's just, yeah, let's start shooting. Right?
She's cool. I'm going to like her a lot. I have a feeling.
Nice. You guys playing, you're done big and playing a lot of Ashes. Very cool.
The Rise of the Phoenixborn.
Yeah, we are. We're going to throw back to Ashes here at some point.
Yeah, it's on the short list. Yeah, like dude.
We keep an eye on the Ashes front, Evan.
Dude, Azalea, the
main version.
I'm gonna love that character.
Yeah.
She's got a like dark, like not sure if she's a hero or a villain vibe going on.
Are you saying it's like Kylo?
Yeah, kind of, except for a chick.
Yeah, except
which is I'm down.
Yeah. Ashes still remains on my shelf. Thank you, Jared. That's good. Okay, draw 4.
Oh, you want to see who goes first? Can you hit my life counters?
Oh, yeah.
Evens for Stevens. Odds for Zach.
Yeah, that works for me.
It's even.
Even for Steven. Okay, so that's me. Let's put our life up here. Okay, deck here.
That's a bad one because that 5 looks like a 4.
Yeah, that's not good. How about this one?
I have 20. Well, I'll need one for my resource counter. Thank you.
We'll give you, how about yellow? And then I'll take this guy. Okay. Let's do 5
is actually the field of view there.
times 4. 5 times 4. Okay, great.
All right, now we draw 4. You're going first. And one of the cool rules, you draw 4, but then at the end of the first round, you get to draw back up.
Yes.
Kano's going to get to partying quick.
And you start at 15.
Whoosh.
I already did a ton of damage here. And did you say I was going first? Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here we go. Okay, so I really want to do this. Like to you may put your face up into your arsenal. Okay. Then put the rest of the bottom of your deck in any order. Okay. Ooh, and here we are already. All right, I can do that.
Here we are already.
Here we are, I can do that. I was low on money as I expected myself to be. Okay, so if I do 1, 1, 1.
Death Dealer's also super sweet.
And then card, arsenal. Okay, I'm into it. I think I've got it.
One thing I like about the Wizards is they immediately have all the, if you have less life, cards turned on.
Mm-hmm. That is true, yeah. Put your card for you. All right, let's start it off with, I'm going to do the play that I know is correct, which is dangerous words, I know. All right, so first, let's drop action first, then pay for it. So first I'm going to trigger Death Dealer once per turn action.
Okay, cost 1.
I'm going to generate 2 resources, so I've got 1 left over.
Mm-hmm.
And I can put a card, arrow card from my hand face up into my arsenal. So I'm going to do that here with Sick'em Shot.
Nice.
If I do, draw a card and go again. Okay, done. Then I'm going to play Come to Fight Yellow. Cost me 1. The next attack action I play this turn is +2, and I get to go again.
Okay.
So I'll just leave this up here for posterity. Then I'll pay 1 here to play Sikkim Shot from my arsenal. And it says 3 damage, go again. It's +2 from Come to Fight, so it's a 5 damage attack.
Now, no.
Meow.
Meow. 5, you say? Can I play instants right now?
Yeah, I think so. You want to look?
Yeah, this is gonna matter.
All right. We have Attack Step. An action card, a combat chain's open. That attack action card becomes layer 1. Okay. The active player may play instant cards or instant activated abilities, and then pass priority. When both players pass priority, it resolves. So yes, after this attack is declared, you have an option. I'm going to pass my priority to play instants, and you can take it over.
I'm going to trigger Kano's instant. I pay 3, so I'll generate 4 here. 1 left over. Look at the top card of my deck. If it's a non-attack action card, I can banish it. If I do, I can play it this turn as though it were an instant.
Okay. Is it a non-attack action card?
It is a non-attack action card, and I banish it. It doesn't say face up, so I'll do that.
I think they're always face up. I just saw this the other day. They're always face up unless it tells you to say face down.
Got you.
So the banished pile is universal knowledge to both players.
Okay. So this is an Aether Flame, red. It costs 1, and it's deal 3 arcane damage to target opposing hero. The next card I play this turn with an effect that deals arcane damage instead deals that much damage plus X, where X is the damage dealt by this.
Okay, so you could stack them, do a bunch of them, yeah.
But
wow, just coming out blasting.
I have 1 left, and I can play this as an instant. So I'll use my Crucible of Aether Weave instant. Once per turn instant, costs me 1. The next card I play this turn with an effect that deals arcane damage instead deals that much damage plus 1. And then I will generate another resource to play this card. I'll play this card as an instant. Deal 3 arcane damage to target opposing hero. So the 3 arcane damage to you.
3 arcane damage, is it buffed by something? Did I see that? +1 here?
+1, so it's 4.
4 arcane
as
damage.
an instant.
Okay, I'll take 4.
That's actually pretty crazy that I could. It's so powerful I can do that on your turn because I can wait till you spend your cards.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And I can
because you're a
instant
wizard, you should be smarter than me, right?
And you're doing what, 5?
5, yeah. Coming at you.
Anything happen when I take damage besides just taking damage?
Nope, I'll be able to go again. So I've got 1 card left, and I'll be able to go again.
Sure. We'll just block for 3.
All right. Take your 2. And then I have my action point still. And I'm going to have to pass on that action, I think. Yeah, I will pass on that action, put this into my arsenal, and then draw 4.
All right.
And then put my pitch zone back in. Perfect. Oh my gosh, we're getting into some deck building now. Now we're getting somewhere.
Agreed.
This is getting wild. It's amazing how 4 cards in different sequences can be so much better or worse, depending on the way that you play them.
It's wild. This is, my brain is hurting me.
My brain. Okay, so this. Put in your arsenal. Okay. This. Yep. Okay.
Well, let's lean in, shall we? You ready for
Yes.
this? First thing I'll do is I'll generate 3 resources to use Kano's ability. We're going to banish this card.
Right on. And you need a lot of money, right? Wizarding needs a lot of money.
It's a defense reaction. So that's not gonna work.
Oh, great. Should have opted. The wizard is perfectly smug, Lion Day. It's completely correct. So it just has to sit there, taunting you.
I just realized what I should have done.
You want to do it?
No, that's right. We learn. This is how we learn. Then I'll just play an Aether Flare for 1.
Okay.
And it's dealing 3 arcane damage to target opposing hero as my action.
Okay. 3 damage, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I can pay 2 to prevent 2 of that damage, or I can just take 3. Wow. What a game. Okay, so let's look at, this is where I need to actually think through this. Okay.
Mutton Chop saying, is there any way you can publish a deck list for each deck so when we get our cards we can build the decks? I don't think, I wouldn't recommend that. If you're, especially if you're going to do sealed open 6 packs, honestly you could grab all your cards for 1 class. In this case I'm playing Wizard. And then effectively fill out the rest of the 30 cards with generic cards. Pick your favorites, doesn't matter. And then just play and see how you feel, what you think. And then over time you'll be able to build those sealed decks really quick. What up, Jesse?
Well, I've got to take it. I'm taking 3. I got no, you any actions?
Nope.
Reactions, John?
Mm-mm.
Right, so.
You know, No.
Okay. 1 and 5 goes to 3.
And I'll put this in my
And well, just like that, we're tied.
Wizarding ain't easy.
Okay. Let's start with this. I need to find a source for go again. Okay. This will work.
Oh, that card's fantastic.
All right, I'm going to track action points because I think I might get myself confused. So I currently have 1, and this is just the learning process. I think I just need visual aids. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to play a generic action, red, lead the charge. The next time I play an action card with cost 0 or greater, I gain an action point. So my action point goes to 0, but then it comes back because this says go again. So then the next action card will actually give me an action point. Then I'll pay 2, and because I played an action card, I'll go up to 2, but then I go back down to 1 because it took my action point. Put a card from my hand on top of the deck rather than paying the cost. I'm going to do that here. If this attack hits, I can search for Sunkiss, reveal it, put it into my hand, and shuffle my deck.
So that would shuffle your deck. Hitting for 4?
Mm-hmm.
So I will not block with any cards, but you get first reaction, attack reaction?
Yeah, that's right. I don't have any reactions.
I will. This is wild. I'm going to play Absorb and either red. It's 4 defense, defensive reaction. The next card I play this turn with an effect that deals arcane damage instead deals that much damage plus 2.
Okay, you got to
And
pay.
it costs me 1.
Pay for that, boy.
So I will use Fate Foreseen, blue, to generate 3. So I have 2 left over.
No reactions. Pass it back over to you.
All right, I block for 4.
Resolved?
That resolves, yes.
Okay. All right, Moonwish, resolved.
And I want to make sure I don't pass my last opportunity to play instants.
You'll have so many opportunities. We'll make sure you don't miss. All right, then I'm going to play an action from my hand. Takes me down to 0, but it has go again, so I refresh that action point. Gain 3, so I'm going to gain 3 money, or 3 health. And then if I played a card named Moonwish this turn, which I just did, draw a card, and go again.
You got your card back.
Got my card back. That's right. Just a beautiful shot. Okay, done with that. It's so crazy how 4 cards can create like incredible mechanical turns. I'm really loving it. Okay, and then next up, we've got this. We're going to do Death Dealer's ability. Generate 3 resources with a blue back alley break line.
Okay.
And it's going to cost me 1 to do that. So now I'm down to 2 resources. If I have no cards in my arsenal, I can put an arrow card face up into my arsenal. If I do, draw a card and go again. So I've done that. And then it says, if Ridge Rider is put into my arsenal face up, opt 1. Look at the top card of my deck and put it on the bottom.
If you want.
Now the question is, which one of these would trigger first? You may put an arrow card from your hand into your arsenal if you do draw a card. And this one is, if you put it in your arsenal, opt 1. So I would guess that this fully resolves before you would resolve this. If I'm a guessing person,
Perhaps.
that's how I would play it. Ooh, okay. Let's go. Man, how funny is this? I'm gonna put it under. I'm opting not for that one.
I'm opting out.
I'm opting out. And then I'm going to pay 0 for Ridge Rider shot. It's going to be 4 damage arrow attack. What's up, Jesse Fernandez?
I'm going to have an instant. I'm going to spend 2, 3. I have 2 left to trigger this. We'll banish this card. It's an Aether Flare.
Uh-oh.
Yellow. 2
You're done
damage.
bacon?
And it's +2 because of this thing. It cost me 2. So I will spend
Only
2.
cost you 1, yeah?
Oh, it
Top
cost
right.
me 1. So I'll spend 1 here on this instant to give +1. And then I have +2 from this.
So it's +3 total?
And I'll pay 1 to play this. So it's 2, 5 total damage coming at you
5 total damage coming at me.
as an instant.
All right, I've got 2 resources, so I'll block 2 with the Mage Master boots and the Norrune hood and the Bullseye bracers, Arcane barriers. So I'll take 3 total. 1, 2, 3.
And then you're hitting for how many?
I'm hitting you for 4. Thank you, Ian. Yep. Draw and then opt. We did it right.
I'll take 4.
Taken.
Down to 9.
All right.
They go quick.
I'm going to throw this into my arsenal. Throw this on the bottom. And I'm going to draw 4, and you have a 1-card hand.
Yep.
Woo! That's what I'm talking about.
Let's go from my arsenal. You know what? Yeah. We're going to play Aether Spindle Blue. It cost me 2. So I'll do this. I have 1 here. It's dealing 2 arcane damage to target opposing hero.
Okay. And you get to opt based on how much damage you did?
Opt X for X is the damage dealt by it.
Yeah. Okay.
Appreciate that, Jesse.
Again.
Ben says, I have a feeling life counters might make their way to the TC website for this. Trust your feelings, Ben.
Man, I feel like I really should avoid that so you don't get to opt anything and make your ability better. But you're about to draw. You don't have any money, so that's fine. I'll take 2.
Hold on. I'll use my last resource to use this instant for +1 after you choose not to play cards.
And then you get +1?
Yep.
Okay, so I'll take 3.
Opt 3.
Opt 3.
Put that on bottom.
Yeah, Jordan, this one, it totally took off, right? Jesse, that's great. Great game streams as always coming in. Thank you, Jesse. It's awesome. It's so much fun to be able to do this.
It really, truly is.
A life's dream, for sure. Into your turn?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now we're going to make a little gamble. We're going to make a little gamble. All right, we're going to use Azalea's ability. Let me make sure I don't want to actually do this. Yeah. Azalea's ability, once per turn action, put a card from your arsenal on the bottom of your deck. If you do, put the top card face up into your arsenal. If it's an arrow, it gains dominate, and then I get to go again. Ooh.
Jordan S says, I was a little worried about the depth of this game, but no longer. Yeah, this game's got the beats, man.
If you have no cards, you may put a card from your hand face down into your arsenal. Wow. That's actually pretty handy. It's a defense reaction, though. So that's a good way to basically fill up your arsenal to where you can't do anything in a turn. Okay. That's interesting. And that is this dude, it's a high skill deck. It's crazy. Azalea
Yep.
and Kano.
I feel like they're next level on how much you need to know.
We really got there, didn't we? Huh. Well, that's interesting. So I'm sitting on a bunch of stuff that I don't think I can use. An activated ability. I guess I can always just make this attack, yeah. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. So let's...
I feel like the terrifying thing about Kano is he can just downtown you for 5 or 6 on your turn.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to get real careful against wizards at the end.
Yeah, it just kind of switches the game up a little bit. Okay.
Blake says these heroes seem to have a bit more going on with them. Do you think the first set's heroes will start feeling a little too straightforward?
I don't think so.
Given that Bravo's won the most events, he's a set 1 hero, I'd be surprised. And a lot of times, complexity doesn't speak to goodness at all. So I don't think so. I think they're just doing different things, and it's cool to see them play with different pieces of the design.
Oh, man, this is so fascinating to me, man. All right.
It's fascinating because the complexity is in the decision tree, not in your understanding of how to, what's possible.
Causes your string give an extra point. Dude, I think my best move is actually just to completely pass.
Man, that's right. The wizard can basically instant attack on your opponent's turn.
Okay, I'm going to do it the old fat. This is just the worst thing to do. Let's do a blue back alley break line. It's a 3 damage attack. If an activated ability or action card effect puts it face up, I would get an action point. So that's not going to matter now. It's just a 3 damage attack. I'm going to pay 1 with lead the charge. All right.
Boop. Now, can I play instants before I decide to put cards in? Or is that after?
Yes, you can.
I'm going to trigger an instant. I'm going to trigger Kano's ability. We're going to grab this card. It's an attack action.
I think it's being a non-attack, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, I shouldn't have even done this. I get it. It's a May. I don't have to banish it.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. So you kind of get to peeky at the top, too.
You do.
If you want to keep it up there.
So I'll leave it. We'll leave it.
It's leaved. Consider it leaved.
Then
3 damage coming at you. This is the next tier.
Well, let's block for 3.
We've entered the next tier.
Mine?
Yours, yeah.
All right.
Nice. It's just insane.
Agreed. Let's do this. I will literally just put that in my arsenal.
You didn't even let me trigger a defense reaction.
Nope.
That's a bummer.
That's a bummer, man.
Can't replace my arsenal, I don't think.
You can't. Oh, you have a. She can do it.
Yeah, I can. You're right. I can do that every turn and just try and go fishing, basically.
Yeah.
All right, so I think we'll start out with that ability.
Contraband.
Once per turn action, so I get an action point. Once per turn action, I go again. So I'm going to put this on the bottom of your deck. If you do, put the top card face up into your arsenal. Okay. It's a generic attack, so that's actually pretty cool that I get to do this one. Then let's do first action. I'm going to play Ravenous Rabble. It's a 0-cost attack, and it says reveal the top card of your deck. It gets -X, where X is the pitch value of the card revealed this way. And then I get to go again. So it's 5 damage. Pitch value here is 2, so it's a 3 damage attack coming at you. But now I know that I have a Sick'em Shot on the top.
That's good.
Which is relevant if I didn't have to use Azalea's ability already this turn.
Yeah.
But that's super cool. So I understand that mechanic very well. So it's a 3 damage attack coming in.
Way to go again.
Hey, Scott. Yeah, we're not done playing Skytear. We're just taking a break. We're doing a little Flesh and Blood series here for a while, and also working on a Skytear tutorial video. We're still actually playing it. It's still very good. Waiting for Into Ashes, too. Can't wait.
Contraband. So you're doing 5.
3 damage, technically. It's -2 because there was 2 pitch value up top.
Cool.
We'll just do this to make sure we know. Anything that says 0 or go again and 0 resources for an attack, I'm into it. I got the beats in Waka. Who? You look like a wizard over there. You need a little tome?
I am a wizard.
Spell book?
I'll take 3.
Okay. Still have an action point because it go again.
Good.
All right, let's see. Let me do 1. Yep. Okay. Now I need another go again opportunity. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I want, right? That's what I need.
Give them the beats.
So this has been used. I'll just signal that there. I don't want to destroy this because it's my arcane barrier. Non-attack action card gains go again, so that's not going to matter. Yeah. Okay. So this could be interesting too. Let's go here.
Gary, this is definitely standard size sleeves. Gucci gang.
Death Dealer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to pay 1. So I'm going to generate resources here. So I'm going to generate 3. Hold on to 2. No cards in my arsenal. Put an arrow face up. It's going to be a face up headshot.
Oof.
It's a red headshot. And it says if it's face up, +2 until end of the turn. So it's a 6 damage attack currently in the loaded up for you.
Yikes.
And then I get to draw a card, which is the Sick'em Shot, as we know. Then I'm set up for next turn, I feel like. I'll pay 1
Jiminy Christmas.
to have a 6 damage attack come in your way.
That's blocked for 2.
Thanks, Zach. You actually let me give you money and then put some sleeves in my FAB order. If it's not shipped yet, Gary, if you place an order for sleeves, we can probably get that combined. It just depends on where it is in the shipping process. How much you block?
2.
Taking 4 then?
Yep.
Okay. Resolving. And that's going to be all.
There's a lot of cards you still have in your hand over there.
I know. I'm just sitting on all these arrows.
You're setting up.
There's a beautiful balance here going on.
All right. Woo. Prepare to die in the ashes of my arrows that aren't arrows. You ready?
Yeah.
First thing I'm going to do is play Lead the Charge from my arsenal. It's
Love Lead the
0
Charge.
cost. The next time I play an action card with a cost 2 or greater, I gain an action point. Go again.
Mm-hmm.
So then, for my next trick,
I like Lead the Charge a lot.
let's play...
I'll track your action points. while we're getting used to it. Yeah, Tom, you're totally right. These are going to be a very tight 30-minute time limit, probably sealed and draft. They play out, and we're struggling through like complex hero interactions and stuff right now.
Let me back this up. I
All
have
right,
one
back it
left.
up.
I'm going to destroy my Mage Master Boots. Cost me 1. No, it costs 1. That's the problem. I got it. All right, we're going to go there still.
The game is hard.
Yeah. Then I'll pay 2 for the Voltic Bolt. Here. So I have 1 left. So it's doing 3 damage, and it has to go again.
3 damage, go again.
Well, actually, I gain an action point, but yeah.
You gain an action point. Technically different. Right now, about the same. Okay. Oh, I should have put something. Hold on.
Yeah, in your arsenal?
I need to put something in my arsenal, yeah. Didn't have this guy. This one goes in for sure. That makes more sense. Much better. All right, then we've got to do this. I'm going to generate 2 and prevent 2 with arcane barriers.
Okay, take 2.
Take
1.
1, yeah.
Yep. And then I have 1 left. We're just going to play an Aether Flare. It's just going to do 1 damage.
1 damage. I'll take 1. Some fancy business here. Okay. This is so fascinating to me.
Contraband, contraband, contraband.
Okay, so 1, and then 0. Oh my gosh, there's like sequences here is awesome. It actually kind of feels, I kind of feel like I'm playing Corp and Netrunner a little bit.
That's a good feeling.
So we would play this. We would do this. We would generate here. We would do that. We'd use that, and we do that. Okay, I think I've got a sequence that makes sense. Okay. I'm going to start by playing blue. It doesn't have go again. Oh, this is here too. It doesn't have go again.
It's a web we.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That.
What up, Max Hill? Just catching up. How do 2 sets compare so far? We're just really diving into set 2, so that's hard to say. I definitely think the set 1 makes sense to set 1.
Okay. Let's start with an attack. Sick'em shot, generating 3 with Moonwish.
I'm so tired of them sickums.
Sick'em. It's 2. It has go again. It's a 3 damage attack.
Let's walk for 3.
Okay. Got it. No funny business. Okay. Now this is the question. This is such a fun question. Then let's do Death Dealer. Pay 1 to put 1 face up. It'll be yellow headshot. It's currently a 5 damage attack. And then we'll pay 1 to throw it at you. 5 damage. Can't cast if you're getting shot.
Gotta stop it. Let's.
Hey, Maxiel. Just catching up here. How do the 2 sets compare so far? So the second set is introducing a lot more depth, complexity, etc. Blocking for 5, just like that, huh? Woo! All right, I'll throw this in my arsenal, and then this goes under, and I draw 4. Yeah. A lot more complexity in the second box. Really cool mechanics. Starting to get the hang of it. It's a more complex set for sure, so it's taken a little bit longer. But really fun.
It's
I
good.
mean, it's great. The art in the second set is particularly awesome because a lot of arcane stuff going on, and arcane stuff looks great on cards.
Arsenal, done.
That's it.
I blocked with everything.
All right, so you had to. I interrupted your casting.
Yep. You disturbed me.
Okay. Go again. Go again. Go again. Opt 3. Go again. Reload. Reaction. Okay. It's easy. Okay. And this doesn't have go again. Isn't that really the story? Non-attack action gains go again. Okay. Well, you know what? Let's start off with a Whisper of the Oracle. Just a standard action. Opt 3, go again. Cost me 0. It's a yellow Whisper of the Oracle.
You got it.
All right, let's opt 3. Okay.
Totally agree, Lion Day says, I absolutely love how flavorful the mechanics of each hero is. The wizard plots on his enemy's turn, foiling their plans, while the ranger sets up arrows for combos. Preparing the shot. Not gonna throw away my shot.
Okay. Put this one on top. That's the first play of the turn. All right. Then This is just insane. Destroy face up in your arsenal. Okay. Then let's play a Searing Shot. It is a 3 coming at you, and I'm going to pay nothing for it because it cost me nothing.
3, you say?
Oh, no, wait. I'm not supposed to do that. Once per turn action, put this on the bottom and put this face up. That's why we just did that. It's a headshot. It's currently a 6.
Must stop.
And then we're going to do play the headshot, generate 1 resource.
It's a 6.
6 coming at you, yeah.
I will put a 2 in. You get the first reaction.
No reactions.
Fate Foreseen. Opt 1. 4 defense reaction. Fate Foreseen red. So now I'm at 6.
You got it.
Opt 1.
Opt 1.
We'll leave it there.
And then let's roll this one underneath. That's right. Actually, let's roll this one underneath. Yep. And then I'm done. This goes under, and this draws cards. 1, 2. I assume you were done with everything that mattered. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, maybe I can string this together now. God, it's so crazy how these can be so different with 4-card hands.
Yeah. All right.
These classes are so different.
Here's what I will do.
Like, no, you don't lose. You got no more cards. You just exchange damage until the game is over. Start blasting.
I'm going to play Life for a Life red. If it hits, I gain a life. When I play it, if I have less life than you, it gains go again.
Standard attack.
Yeah, I'll generate 1 for it. Swinging at you for 4.
And if it hits, you gain a life?
Yep.
Huh.
And it has go again.
That's a good card.
It's real.
You have to have less life than me, I
Rough.
see. We're good. 4, you say, eh? Boy, this is the question, isn't it? I'll take it.
All right, I gain 1. You take 4. It goes again.
Miller Truck, it is pretty amazing. James, I agree. The art is so good. James, you turned us onto this ultimately.
You're good. Go ahead.
Oh, Dominate, of course. Okay, right. I'd forgotten about that. Sorry, Ian. Yeah, I think I just messed that up. Luke, we're getting those back in stock.
Yeah, he says, OMG, I need those set packs to get back in stock. Manage the free hero and starters, but this is a must. Yeah, it's really great.
All right, now we've got decisions, man. Nothing but great decisions here. Okay. +1. Okay.
Wow.
Very nice. So we do this. We do this. So that's 1. We do this. And then we generate.
It's 3 to
here.
4. That's where we're at right now.
That's where we're at.
Be careful if I wizard you from downtown for 4.
I know, right?
Not at happy to do it. Glad you could grab that deck.
First thing I'll do is play Silver the Tip. I gotta generate 1 resource. I'm gonna generate. See, I could get fancy, too fancy here. Generate 3 resources here.
Mm-hmm.
Got 2 left. And if I have no cards in my arsenal, oh, I do already. Hold on, that's why I gotta do this the wrong way. Plunder Run, 0.
From your arsenal?
From my arsenal, the next time an attack action card hits, I draw a card, and if it's played from my arsenal, the next one gets +1, and I go again.
You got it.
Okay. Now we do that thing. Silver the Tip. Generating 3. So down to 2.
And what's that do?
I can, if I have no cards in my arsenal, I can look at the top 3 and put an arrow card face up from my arsenal.
You got it.
Okay. I'm gonna put the rest on the bottom of the deck in any order. Oh no, no arrows. Okay. It's fine. That's fine. I'm actually gonna drop all of these underneath. And then I'm gonna go again. See, I almost got too fancy there. That's where that happened. Then we're gonna use Death Dealer.
Trying to flip one off the top?
No, this one's from hand. Salvage Shot up top. And then I'll pay 1 for Salvage Shot. If it hits, I put it on the bottom of my deck. It's a 5 damage arrow coming at you.
If it hits, what happens?
Just
Bottom
5
of your deck.
damage. 5 damage and bottom of your deck. If it hits, you're dead. If it really hits, you're dead. And then also, if it hits, I draw a card, which could be relevant. It doesn't have go again, but maybe the arsenal would get better. I gotta not have my cards down like they're in the arsenal there. Yeah, Lion Day, I agree with you. I prefer the smaller format because I like faster games. For a competitive setting, I get using more health as it provides a more balanced match. It gives you that opportunity to like catch up and kind of do that push and pull that's going on. You ever feel like you're playing about 50% effective?
Always.
Always. I wasn't going to say it, but. That is a Salvage Shot yellow. That's something Zach and I are trying to get really good about on screen, like, because there's often 3 variations of a card, so our normal like polling system to get the cards to pop up is difficult because you can't just search by name. It has to be by the color as well.
Let's block 3 of it.
3 of it. All right, so 5 coming in. Take 2, and then I draw a card. Instant, do 1 damage. The end. 1 into the yard. Here. This goes, and then I draw. Okay. Yeah, Luke, the color is variation, not rarity. So the blue cards, oh, the arrow goes on bottom, yeah, thank you. The blue cards generate the most resources, and then the red cards generate the least resources. Yellow's in the middle. Blue cards they all have the same effect at varying strengths. So blue cards have the weakest version of the effect. Red cards have the strongest version of the effect. And then the middle version is kind of, again, middle of the road. So it makes deck building fascinating because you might want the same effects, but some of them generate more resources, some of them are more effective. So how does your deck want to handle that in terms of resources? Yeah, Connor, it's true. We have to get good about that in Arkham too. We have to say like the 2 experience version or 2 pip version of this card or that card. Less relevant, but still very relevant.
Let's do this.
You sure?
Uh-huh. Let's play Whisper of the Oracle. Opt 4, go again.
I'll allow it.
Don't mind me. It's interesting.
It's like you having to memorize your spells.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna put them all on bottom.
Oh my gosh, that's good.
For you.
It's good for Steven.
All right, let's play
I didn't memorize.
Stir the Aether Winds yellow. Cost 2. I have 1 left. And it says I can play my next wizard non-attack action this turn as though it were an instant, and if it has an effect that deals arcane damage, instead the effect deals that much damage plus 2. Then I'll spend 1 on a Scalding Rain instant. It deals 5 damage.
That would kill me. Oh wow, you're really close here. Well, that can't happen, right?
Oh wow, you're close.
You could still just instant me out, next turn.
I'm basically just trying to get you down to a couple.
Yeah.
And then that's why I was predicting 4 actually, because if I could get 2 cards on top, or 1 card on top for this that I wanted, I would save a card in my hand, so I didn't draw the card that I wanted. But I couldn't.
And we said basically arcane damages can't be blocked by the defense shields.
Yeah.
The little shields.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah. No, I haven't been able to do that the whole game.
You just have to pay for it. That's crazy.
Got to pay the money. Okay, so what you're saying is I need to think about this now more than ever. Okay. Generate 3 here and reduce 2. And take 3.
Mm-hmm.
Boop-a-da-boo. Don't like that. Nick, yes, the action does take up your action point, but it turns those spells into instants, and instants don't require actions. Blake, you can split them up. Because they can be instants, Zach can, zap me. Or both at one, which is quite funny.
Common.
Okay. Let's see if we can get it done. This goes under.
There it is. I'm seeing it now. Ridiculous.
Okay. So I'm going to do this and this. And okay. Okay. but it doesn't have go again.
Always.
So this is the problem.
You kind of get used to the cards going again.
You do, don't you? Yeah.
And then they don't.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they are not going again. Not at all. But I've also just got to save myself from the nonsense. And I think this will save me.
My wizard flame.
So the first thing I have to do is not die.
That is the key to not losing. Some would say the key to winning sometimes.
Some would say, yeah.
Don't mind me, I'll read my magazine. How's everyone doing out there? What are you guys thinking? This is, I like the comment. It's different because unlike our yesterday's games, we aren't destroying each other's armor or
Not
clothing.
at all. Not at
They're
all.
just hanging out, which is very different, which is cool to see.
Oh, man, wow. Wow.
Miller, check out this week's podcast if you didn't already listen to it. No, he already listened to it.
There you go. Done. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do... Non-attack action card this turn. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is I'm pay 2 for a red enchanting melody. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that that would prevent... It says, if you would be dealt damage, you can destroy it to prevent up to 4 of it. And I think that would apply to Arcane as well. We haven't read the Arcane damage rules, but I would imagine the rule is that you just can't block it normally with cards from hand. Not that it has to specifically say Arcane damage.
Sure.
Maybe somebody knows that. That would be confusing if it couldn't. Because I feel like it's kind of the point of this card in this set. Okay. So I got to generate 2 for that, which I'll do here with my salvage.
I
shot.
also needed to not die.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're in a
man.
similar boat, aren't we? Let me see if there's any way to actually pick this up. 3, 4, 1, 2. Yeah, I can maybe do that. So let's do 3 here.
People commenting on us continually getting down to 1 and 1 life. I think part of it is like, it in a weird way, it reminds me of the Star Wars LCG, like in the top cut where like a tie would go to the higher seed. But essentially it's the concept that you can't die, right? Before that, you can make choices where you're willing to take some damage in order to have a stronger turn on your next turn. But when you get down to 1, you have to just keep surviving. So I think what happens a lot of times is that when you're on game point or that close, you'll play a lot more defensive, and then you just ping your opponent for 1 or 2 at a time. And so you never have to make that like tempo decision. And your opponent basically, I think part of the game is, it's like having a fatality in Mortal Kombat or something, where it's like you have to have a finishing move that your opponent just can't do anything about.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's what we're trying to set up. And Azalea can do it. I've not been able to string it together without also dying. You know?
That is the balance, is it not?
And again, we're getting low on deck here too.
It's not getting better.
It's not getting better, man.
Oh, Archie's out of arrows.
I don't want to destroy the bullseye bracers because I might need that double arcane barrier as much as I want to.
Yeah, if I hit you for 2 and you can't stop one of them, that's a bummer.
Now, here's another thing. Okay, so if we do, yeah, that won't work either. That's so amazing. Ah! Okay. I don't know. So then we'll pay 1 using Deto's ability to put this in my arsenal and draw a card.
The yellow salvage shot.
Mm-hmm. Then yeah, I think I just go for it here. Then we'll generate. We'll go ahead and do 4. Try to do 4. So pay 1 here. And 4 coming at you.
All right, let's block with 2. You get the first reaction.
Oh, wait, hold on. I'm doing this again. No, that's right. That's fine.
Block with 2, you get the first action.
Blocking with 2, I get
Reaction.
the first action. I have no reactions there.
I'll react with a Fate Foreseen. Defensive reaction adds 2, and I get to opt 1.
Mm-hmm.
Put it on bottom.
Done. Goes to the bottom. Okay. These go to the bottom.
Did it have go again?
No, it did not.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and take my shot.
And then I draw 3.
For what?
End of the turn.
I'm not there yet.
Oh, you're not there yet. Okay.
Sorry, fancy wizard stuff.
Yeah.
I think I have to take my chance.
Okay, so hold on. Let's.
You have a 4 block
I
up?
have a prevent 4, yes.
Yeah, well, we won't take my chance. Go ahead. Go draw your
Okay,
cards.
done. Draw some cards here. I'll put this in the arsenal and draw 4. Okay. Well, this is interesting.
And that stays up.
Yes, it stays up. It says at the beginning of my end phase, I have to destroy it unless I played a non-attack action card. I did, this one. And so next turn, if I don't play a non-attack action, it will go away.
All right, let's destroy my Bracers of Belief.
Uh-oh.
Reveal the top card of my deck. If I do the next attack action, I would play this turn gains plus X damage, where X is 3 minus the pitch value. 3 minus 3.
That's what you wanted.
Whoops. Go again. But now I know what it is, so I'm not wasting my time on it.
Dope!
We'll put this down. And it'll be your turn.
All right. Got a shot. Okay. Now, how do we get one on the top? Okay. I really need that dominate. Now, I could just risk it. Do you just risk it here?
That goes away, right?
No. My end phase. Maybe opt.
Would have gone away last round?
No, it is a non-attack action card.
Got it.
So it would count for itself, yeah. All right, so if I play this, then it doesn't. How do I need to be able to set something up that you can't just block. You know?
That's what I've been saying.
You know? And the way to do that is dominate with Azalea. But right now, I have no way to control the top card of my deck, which means that I can just take a chance. All right, I'm going to take a chance. Once per turn action. Put this on the bottom. Put something from the top face up. Hope it's an arrow. Not at all.
Nailed it.
It is a generic attack, though. Oh, look, I gained an action point. It says that Brack Alley Break. That's why I had it in there. If an ability puts it face up, I gain an action point. So I've got 2.
Nice. That could be good.
That could be really good. Okay, we could. That actually was maybe the answer. Okay, let's try this. We've got a shot here. So then I'll pay 1. Let's throw a, I think it's a Sun Kiss. So pay 1, pay 1, pay 0. Yeah, it's gotta be the Sun Kiss, unfortunately. Okay, so generate 3 there. I'm gonna lose 1 to play the old Back Alley Break line from the arsenal. It's a 3 damage generic attack, cost me an action. You got 3 damage coming at you. I do have 1 action point left. How annoying is that enchanting melody for you right now?
It's so annoying. The most annoying. Let's block for 3.
All right, blocked. Consider it blocked. Okay. Then this could be a crazy mistake. How many cards you got? 3?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We're just slogging, man. It's insane how the game like zooms in. It's like bullet time.
Yeah, it's crazy. Slow motion.
I'm going to destroy the bullseye bracers.
Mm-hmm.
Put an arrow face up into my arsenal. And giving it +1. It's a searing shot.
Okay.
Then we're going to pay 0 to play searing shot. So it's a 4 damage.
That's your action.
Yeah, it's a 4 damage attack. And if it hits, you lose a life.
It's 4?
4 damage.
Can't let it hit.
Can't let it hit.
Okay. Block for 4?
Mm-hmm. Any reactions from me? No. No reactions for you. Okay. Done. End phase. Are you ready for end phase?
Mm-hmm.
All right. This goes away because I didn't play the thing. This goes under. Put one in arsenal. Draw 3. Magic of 1 card. I hope there's none there. 3 damage spell. Get out of here. Get out of here.
All right, I'll play this. It's a 2. I have 1 left. It's a 4 damage attack.
Just a straight up attack.
Mm-hmm. It's called Rifting Blue. I think that melody gone is all I needed.
Okay.
Looks like a 2-for.
Let's take cover. 0 cost ranger defense, 4 defense.
You got it. And then this will go away. Getting down to it.
Oh man, aren't we? Okay. Oh, goodness gracious, how intense. Okay. Defense reaction, I get you.
You can only stop 1 arcane damage now?
Mm-hmm.
Whew. I don't know what's in here. I should, though.
Yep. The next man, go again. How important is that? Means +1, go again. All right, well, I guess we'll just have to see how it goes here, yeah?
Oh, how good is that card?
Do I take a crack with Azalea? That's the question. I'm going to try it. Once per turn. Throw this on bottom. Show me that arrow.
Need the headshot.
Perfect.
What is it?
A defense reaction. That is the worst that you could imagine.
Nailed it.
That is probably a game loss. Almost guaranteed, actually. Okay, no way to clear that out. Took my shot. Failed.
Not gonna miss my shot.
Shot. Pass?
Don't want to walk into the jungle?
Pass.
All right.
I mean, there's nothing to be done. I can't play any arrows because this is taken now. I can't get that out of my... because it's a defense reaction.
yeah.
You're not going to attack. You don't have to attack. Oh, the next one's an arrow, of course. All right. Do you have any damage? Question marks to the wizard. Yeah, reach out back into my quiver exactly. Azalea reaches back into her quiver and it's empty, says Blake. And then decides to take cover, but you can't take cover from a spell. Yeah, moving pitch is natural, Gary. Totally natural. The other thing about when you're moving the pitch to the bottom of the deck, you can arrange the cards however you want. So you're actually literally determining your late game hands based on the order that you're pitching back into the deck, which is the kind of strategy that we're not at yet, but it would really make things change.
All right, let's.
You got a spell? Is there, Wiz?
I'm gonna use my index. Wizard action.
There you go. Go to the
Index
tower.
Yellow. Look at the top 4 cards of my deck. Put 1 card from among them on the top of my deck, and the rest on the bottom. And what? I only have 3, so I get to arrange them.
Yeah.
All right, this is the information we needed.
That's right. You got to go back to the books. Is Whispers from the Oracle, Ryan? Is that one that like ditches stuff out of my pitch area? I really need stuff that puts something from my hand on the top of my deck.
All right, this goes here. This goes away. And it's your turn.
Oh, no way. You got nothing. You got nothing for the rest of the game.
Well, I arranged my deck.
Okay.
But I'm out of, that was my action. So
Right.
essentially, if I have a spell, then it just went on top of my deck. Because now I know I can play it in response to whatever you do.
Totally fair.
But if not,
Man, see, like if we were sideboarding, which you technically do in sealed, you just got to cut all your defense reactions if they drop Kano.
yeah.
It's like, well, he's not attacking. Okay, so this I can't do, this I can't do, this I can't do. So we're going to try to clear that out.
We got Grubby. Do you have any
comes-
arrows left even?
I don't know. Need the charge. That's a playable card, so that's much better. Okay. This is reasonable. So we're going to start with a 0-cost red lead the charge. The next time I play an action card 0 or greater, I gain an action point. And I guess go again. Any instance? Kill me or anything? So I currently have the 1 action point. It's +1. Okay. Then we'll do arrange your action.
Okay.
The next attack I play is +1, and I has reload. If I have no cards, I can put 1 face down into my arsenal. And then I go again.
Okay.
And then that was an action card with cost 0 or greater, so I gain an action point for lead the charge. I'm currently at 2 action points. Then we'll pay 1 for a salvage shot. Found it in the dumpster. Generating 3. Using 1. Cost me 1 action. 4 damage coming at you. 5 damage coming at you. I should just leave these up.
Block for 6.
Oof. Oof. Okay, these are all cleared out. 1 action point remains. Pay 1 to use Death Dealer. Put a card in face up and draw a card. Okay. And then lastly, pay 1 for damage salvage shot.
0.
Yeah!
You got
me. Whew!
Yep.
That was a heater.
I was out of
Gotta come up
spells.
for air for that one.
I was out of spells.
That was
I cast everything in my
insane.
book and I had nothing left.
You're like, I don't have anything else memorized. Did you run out for real?
Yeah, well, I had The card I put on that I was going to draw next round, if it's a 5 damage attack, and if it hits, I get to put a card from my discard on top of my deck.
Oh, nice.
And
That's the key.
but I didn't have enough spells.
Yeah. The spells. The spells. Someone was saying earlier, I love finishing it with 2 salvage shots, actually, because the only reason that happened because they keep going to the bottom of my deck.
Yeah, that's really good.
So, the take game has go again. So, somebody was saying this earlier, and it was really cool. Something about basically the wizard tends to run out of things.
Yeah.
Because basically I'm pitching resources to prevent damage rather than discarding cards to prevent damage. So over time, all of the things that I'm preventing with go to my deck.
Yeah.
But
I'm slowly losing my spells. I only have so much magic juice.
Yeah, so it would make sense that if you can just block all of the arcane nonsense for long enough and survive, then you would eventually have like, oh, this wizard is like,
well, and you start beating up the wizard.
Yeah, right.
And like as they start taking damage, like they're getting less good at casting stuff.
That was great, man. I
mean,
mean,
that was really good.
That got into a level of zoom in that I haven't. I mean, that was like, whoa.
We were very much scrumming.
Whoa.
That's what, like, I didn't realize till, like, I don't know, 80% through that game that I kind of knew it, but not really, that you couldn't block arcane damage.
Yeah, right.
Because, like, on my turn, I'd be like, oh, I don't want to do this yet because I want to put it on the bottom of my deck so that I can use it later with this ability. And I was like, if I just play it, you just take damage.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, here's 2 damage you can't do anything about. Here's 2 damage.
Yeah. So, all I can do is pay money for it, right?
And then probably the worst
Arcane
thing
barrier.
I did was I have this rare Absorb in Aether, blue.
Mm-hmm.
And that was early on, it flipped. And I put it on over here. I didn't know it was a May. So like one of my great cards was just stuck.
Just banished
for the
forever.
Game. Yeah.
You know, early wizardry is hard. You got to learn a lot.
That's right.
You know, it's insane.
I'm a young wizard.
Dr. asking, in this game, what would be closest hero to Denial playstyle? Denial. So I haven't seen any like cancel effects and that kind of stuff, which makes me way happy. But I would imagine, so there's a lot, I've seen cards that have big defense values where you could play a lot of defense early on and just weather the attacks and then basically pitch cards. This is where I think the next stage of the game is. I think there are decks, and there may be decks out there that are already doing this, which is if my early game is discarding cards with high defense values to block your attacks and pitching cards to generate resources that are my high offense cards that are going to be then pitched to the bottom of my deck, then I can weather the storm early, and by the time I get to like the bottom third of my deck, it's all of my heat, and then I can just start slamming down all of the offense that I have in the deck. Now, what prevents you from doing that well is that all of your slammer down cards only generate 1 resource. So if you're pitching them to generate money to set up your late game, you're just getting less efficient use out of your resources. So it's difficult to do that, but the payoff is potentially huge.
It's a constant balance between, do you spend the big attacks now or later?
Yeah.
And I think ultimately that's where you get to like level 8 of the game, where it's like you understand your end game scenario, and you start building your end game from turn 1.
Yeah, you do. You totally do.
Like the cards that you're using as resources are the things you want to see at the end of the game.
Yeah. And that's why you might run like some of your important offensive cards. You might run the blue versions of those cards, see them early, pitch them for resources, and still rely on them to be doing your late game damage. And what we've seen in this game is that a lot of it is how can I create a moment that is difficult to defend against, like you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, because early on it's like you will take some damage so that your turn is more effective. Mm-hmm. That's the balance, right?
It's like, that's why we go to 1 and then we're like,
I'll take 2 or 3. But once you got me down to 1, it's like, well, now you hit me for 5, and I just have to deal with all 5.
Yeah.
So I just stay there for a while. My turns get a little weaker, but as long as I can keep poking you for 1 or 2, because you keep trying to finish me off.
Yeah.
So like if I hit you for 4, do you really want to spend a 3 and a 2?
Yeah, exactly.
Or do you just spend the 3, take 1? And then, like, now you have an extra card on offense, but then if I just keep blocking and poking for 1, eventually, like, your timer will get low, and then once you get to 1, we're both just, like, slapping everything we got at it. Yeah.
And that's the other thing. So that's the cool thing, too, is that you're basically learning that there are certain values that are difficult packets to block. So I think 4 damage is an example of that. Most of my defense cards are 3s or 2s.
Yep.
There's the
So
occasional 4.
It's going to take at least 2 cards almost. Like you had the 4 the time that I slapped you with the 4.
One time,
Yeah.
it's like I had this defense reaction that I really needed. And so then you find out that like, well, so what attacking really is in some ways is basically like an intrigue challenge in Thrones or...
It's getting cards out of hand.
It's getting their cards out of their hand, slows their offense down so that you can keep more cards in your hand, which then means that your attack should be bigger next turn.
But it's really fascinating. This game is, the layers is crazy. Because essentially, normally you're deciding, right? Like in Thrones, you would decide, do I throw an intrigue challenge or an attack? It's like, what am I going to put pressure on? In this game, you send the attack, and they get to decide what you're putting pressure on.
Yeah,
Do they spend their cards, or they take their damage?
that's true. They can manage it a little bit more.
So you have the ability to kind of control what they're doing. In the same way, kind of in Thrones, where it's like, if you block, like what you block with is up to you, and how much like blocking or offensive tempo you seed on that thing depends, but the result of the challenge is decided by the attacker.
Yeah.
In this case, the results are decided by the defender.
It really is, yeah. Are you willing to trade cards for health?
Yeah,
I mean, that's
it's
really the question
tempo
you're asking.
versus board state.
And then if the cards you're defending with would have done more damage in return to your opponent, then you probably shouldn't defend with them. Take the hit and then do more, reciprocate that damage +1 or greater. But then you don't really know what they can defend with. So maybe they have that 6 or 7 in the arsenal defense. You take that big gamble, just take 5, and I'm going to come back and hit you. You drop a 7 block from the arsenal, and now my trade math has just completely crumbled in front of my eyes.
For sure.
This is awesome. I love it. Zach, I don't know. Do we have time for another? Do you? I'm very satisfied with what has transpired.
I'm very
right
pleased.
Now. Yeah.
I feel like my brain is correct right now.
Yeah.
Like there's a balance in the force.
Didra, I would say something like Jinteki. I mean, maybe I haven't played it yet, but it looks like the Ruin Blade might have a similar kind of situation where you're basically doing small packets of bad decisions for your opponent.
I feel like the Kodachis did the same thing.
It did, yeah. The
Ninja
Ninja did
that
the same
feels
thing.
Jinteki, right?
It does,
Even thematically
yeah.
speaking.
There's not a lot like the
paper
trap
cuts.
thing where you're like setting up a thing.
Yeah.
But in a lot of ways, the game kind of revolves around that entire idea of you have to make a bet about what I have and how bad it's going to be for you before you form a game plan.
Yeah.
Which is the entire Jinteki. I mean, obviously, all of Netrunner is that. Most games are that, but Jinteki pushed it to the limit. So I don't know, and you could see, it'd be so easy. You see a hunter class in here that's laying traps, and then, next time your opponent attacks, you can flip it up and something happens. Like, you could definitely see that happening. Yeah, and also, Tom's saying played a small amount of UFS, and this has similar vibes but with fewer words. We're going to play that soon.
It's on the list.
We've got a throwback to UFS that's coming up, so we're going to see exactly what it means.
Jesse says, are you guys familiar with the business model of an anti-cafe? I was thinking it could be a good setting for tabletop gaming events. What's an anti-cafe?
Is that where you just throw coffee at your guests instead of...
Or is it just coffee not allowed?
Yeah, you can't eat or drink anything in here. Yeah, what is an anti-cafe?
That's interesting.
So the answer to your question is no. We are not familiar with the business model of
Perhaps
an
it
anti-cafe.
is a tea.
What would that even... Is that what our store is? It's like not a board game cafe?
I don't know.
Huh. Well, Jesse, hey, I want to hear more about that, but we're about to get out of here. You pay for time, food and drink is unlimited. Oh, wow. I would totally wreck that business model. Are you kidding me? Was like a Brazilian steakhouse
is this
kind
like
of
a
vibe,
buffet of tabletop? You know what I mean?
Huh. So basically what you pay, gosh, you'd have to pay $50 to $100.
I mean, he says it's a really comfy setting with amenities.
So like maybe little snacks, like it's not like, you can have unlimited beer and wine and sandwiches and whatnot, but maybe they bring around a small plate every now and again of some things.
I mean, if this thing exists, it's just a nice place to be, sure. I mean, anywhere nice that you can play a game works as long as you have access to it.
How to monetize is the question, right? So like cafe would say, we're going to monetize on the food and not really charge for the time. This is saying we're going to charge for the time and not monetize on the food and the drink.
Jesse says in Russia it's like $5 an hour.
Wow. Huh. I would love to know more. Well, thanks for introducing us to that, Jesse.
$5 an hour, that reminds me of like, I've seen even game cafe models that are like, you either are buying stuff or you're paying for your time.
But usually it's not. What if you're paying for your time and then getting the food for free?
Well, that's different.
That's
if the
crazy,
price is right.
Right? Blake says, that's my apartment when my friends come over.
There it
Thank you,
is.
Blake. That's really funny. So we've got, as you guys know, this week that have been watching us, we ran out of those booster box bundles yesterday. They lasted for like an hour. It's kind of an incredible, mind-blowing thing. We love the support that you guys are showing us on this one, and we're obviously doing the same in kind. So you see these cold foil weapons here, just to do a quick reminder.
Speaking of the Kodachis.
These are the 8 cold foil weapons that are available in those booster box bundles. And whenever you buy a bundle, you're going to get 2 boxes, one from the first set, one from the second set.
It's impossible.
And then 2 random cold foil weapons. If you buy 2 bundles, you get 4 random cold foils, but we will make sure they don't duplicate. So up to 4 bundles that you buy. If you buy up 4 bundles, then you'll get all 8 promo weapons guaranteed. So basically, we're just in an order. Those bundles are going to have promo cards, and we're going to make sure you don't get the same ones, because that would be a bummer. Unless it was the Kodachis, but we're going to make sure you don't get the same ones. So that's that. That'll be back in this week, it looks like, if everything goes according to plan. And then we've also got the free Ira decks that will be back in soon. We've got the starter bundles that will be back in soon. And then we've got the subscriptions that are filling up. That is going incredibly well. There's a ton of people that apparently were just wanting this product in the States.
It's not easy to get, right? The strategy for Flesh and Blood has been very local, in-store, physical. The name of the game comes from that. And so, there's essentially, if you don't have a local store, and right now COVID is weird, but then also there's just not a ton of stores that are supporting this game in general. So if you don't have one, you're looking for an easy way to get the product. Subscriptions, sign up. You don't pay anything until a week or 2 before stuff comes out. We charge you. It shows up on release.
And it's like $74 a box. Is that 20% off?
And
I
you
think
get
right
an
now.
exclusive promo.
And we got an exclusive promo we're shipping with that. If you get 3 boxes in your subscription, it ships for free in the continental U.S. or maybe I think the full U.S. I think we'll do Alaska and Hawaii too. Last time I checked. Don't quote me on that. I'm just in marketing. So we'll do free shipping
Of
on
all
that.
the people that should know.
And then it'll also be a full play set of the exclusive promo, which will be, at least right now, is planned to be a card that is a 3 of. You can run 3 of in a deck. It's not like a piece of armor or anything like that.
And from what I've seen, it looks good.
It does look awesome. We just have to get final verification, then we'll show it to you.
Nick says, will those be permanently out of stock anytime soon, or are they keeping it in restock? So they'll keep it in restock as long as we have promos left, and as long as there are boxes for us to restock.
We will run out of promos.
Given the current rate, I think that we are, I would guess weeks, not months, and I would maybe guess it wouldn't be days.
It wouldn't be months.
But it would be weeks. We're probably in the weeks category. So if you want that, I definitely recommend hopping on the wait list. Probably the next week or 2, we're going to be getting those back. If they run out, we're going to get them back as soon as possible. We're expecting some more this week, so hopefully we get ahead of that curve. And then just hop on it if you want them. And then once they're gone, they're gone.
And Dider, we are currently shipping to the EU. We ship worldwide out of this little store in Tulsa, Oklahoma, which is just a miracle of modern business.
And one thing about that, we were looking at the shipping rates because we had a lot of people asking. Dider, once you scale up past a certain point, the shipping does not get that much more because it's basically, I think, 2 boxes hits priority.
That gets big.
Gets expensive.
Yeah.
So if you have a group of people looking to order together, that could be a really cost-effective way to save on shipping and guarantee you guys get the promos that you want if you're splitting. Like if you have favorite heroes and stuff. So you may look into that if you're ordering internationally.
Right on. All right, Zach. Hey, that was great.
That was great.
Take them home. Thank you guys so much for being here with us. Tomorrow, spoils.
The Spoils TCG.
Woo,
An old classic. All right. Hey, you guys were awesome. Hopefully you enjoyed this. We'll be back tomorrow with Spoils. Friday, Arkham. Next week, we'll be doing Flesh and Blood on Tuesday again, and I'm excited to do that. So stay safe out there, and we'll catch you guys next time.